Welcome everyone to our murder horror mystery game here called Unseen. Um, just a general content disclaimer. This is a murder horror mystery. There are dead bodies and possible death involved in this game. If you're watching and you don't like scary things, just be warned, there won't be any gratuitous gore or anything of that nature. And I'm sure with this group of people, there will also be a lot of chaos. So it will also be very fun. And players, again, if you missed my message earlier, if anything comes up that you're uncomfortable with, please feel free to say so or message me just a simple X so that I can be mindful of that. And most importantly, please have fun. So whatever crosses your mind, that would be fun to do. I'm all for that and will support that. So without any further ado, let's get into this. If you are watching in the chat, there are links for you to donate to the Trevor Project, which we are here raising money for. So please keep a lookout for that. The group of you have been traveling now for about 9 days northward from Neverwinter to the Lurkwood, a massive, very old hardwood forest at the base of the spine of the world, the very tall mountain range that runs across northern Faerun. And your detective agency has been hired by one of Neverwinter's large guilds because a shipment from the Summersming logging camp in the Lurkwood was missed about a month ago, and probably about 2.5 weeks ago now, given the time that you've been on the road, they received a message from the town of Blackmond about a series of murders that had taken place, and are concerned that perhaps this is related. So you have been hired to go north to Blackmond and solve the murders and find out what has happened to this logging camp. So right now it is about mid-afternoon, and you've successfully avoided any major snowstorms on your way up here, but it is midwinter and the clouds are pretty dark and low. It looks like there's probably a snowstorm coming in. But luckily for you, you are approaching the town of Blackmond, and as you start winding your way down the edge of the mountain into the wood, you can see the town probably about a mile off. So why don't we go around and have each of you introduce your characters as you're riding into town? Let's start with you, Liz.
I'm going to be
cannot hear you.
playing. Oh no. Can you hear
now
me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to be playing Juniper Junebug. She's a bard. She is like cotton candy blue with like right pink hair. And she can play the lute and the flute and the fiddle just a little. And she's about 22 years old.
Great. And Kitty.
Okay, I am playing Juniper's familiar that she works the familiar spell, and I'm stuck in the form of a cat. I was once a celestial, but now I'm a cat that is medium-sized, gray and white, with a little tiny half a mustache, almost looking. And she's currently riding the tallest person on their shoulder, looking like, oh dear, what am I going to do now?
Love it. French tuck.
Jamie is a ghostwise halfling standing at about 3 feet tall. They use any pronouns, and they are an inquisitor rogue, and they're kind of looking around being like, Okay, we're doing this again. Okay, this time. Okay, hopefully this time around it's easier.
And word fangirl.
Oh, darling, I'm Zaka, and in fact, the tallest person here, a fighter Goliath between 6.5 and 7 feet. Royalty, of course, but really likes to hit things.
A royal barbarian. Love that. Okay, so as you are descending into the valley, I would like everyone to roll a d20 for me twice, okay? And I'm going to write those numbers down for this session. We'll see how lucky you're going to be today, because if there are situations that might require a roll, but I don't want to ask you for a roll, then that's what it'll be.
Oh no.
Liz, a nat 20
A 20 and a
a
16.
16. You're pretty damn lucky today. Whoops, sorry. We're not supposed to swear on
Oh,
this stream, so
I will remember that.
we'll try our best. All right. Does anyone else have their d20?
I kept to the balance. I rolled a
Ooh.
nat 1 and an 8.
Oh.
I have rebalanced it. I rolled a 10 and a nat 20.
Okay.
But I rolled a 12 and a 10.
A 12 and a 10. All right. Average, but hey, no one's knocking that. All right, so we have two very lucky characters today and one very unlucky character. This
Hopefully
is
we're
gonna
doing
be
something at the same time so
fun.
we balance.
Yep. Yep.
Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Hopefully, fingers crossed. Good to know. So, great. It'll probably be about 20 minutes before you arrive in town. Is there anything that the group of you would like to do before arriving or like to discuss before arriving?
Kind of as we're looking down, like, onto the town and, like, kind of like looking at the general area, can I just, like, just kind of like doing almost like a vibe check, almost like a, just like, how is, like, just from, like, what I'm seeing from afar, does the town seem like on the up and up? Does it seem like it's like like it's kind of like bleak? Kind of what's the vibe I'm getting?
So Blackmond, you know a little bit about. Obviously, you were engaged in this business transaction. Blackmond is one of just a few towns along the spine here, and Blackmond specifically is sort of like a frontier resupply type of town for a number of logging camps that are in the Lurkwood. So it's a very remote area in general, but Blackmond is sort of like a central hub for people who come into this region for work, logging, and trapping. In general, if people have family members or acquaintances that are working in this region, they may send mail to Blackmond in hopes that it will get distributed eventually amongst people as they're traveling through. A lot of people stop off in Blackmond. So it's a simple town, but doing decently for itself. The homes that you see below you are built out of very large logs and timber, log cabins with stone fireplaces. You do see smoke rising from a few of the chimneys. And it's a smaller cluster of buildings around what appears, since you're at a higher elevation, to be kind of a central plaza is probably too large of a word, but a central opening area in the center of the buildings. And you can see Blackmond Creek, which kind of runs through the middle, is frozen over. There's a bridge. And to the west side of town, there is a large building, Blackmond Abbey, that is kind of on the outskirts. On the opposite side, there is an open area, what looks to be probably some type of fields, but of course it's winter and everything's snowed over. Nothing particularly alarming or dangerous seems to be going on. You don't see anyone down in the village, but there's nothing that immediately catches your eye. Is that sufficient vibe checks for you?
That's a good vibe check. I'm just like absorbing all the information.
Okay.
There was a lot of information. It's a lot to.
Yep. No, that's okay.
So everybody, let's just make sure we're not going to do what we did last time. There was a lot of property damage, and I think we might have hurt 1 or 2 civilians. So no more of that. And you can see Myra's tail kind of flicking back. Her ears are back, and she's just giving you all a look. Like, not again.
No exploding arrows. Got it.
But darling, where's the fun if you don't break a couple of bones? Just a few.
Fair. I'm fine with breaking bones, except not yours.
Oh,
I
that's
mean-
fine. No, we won't do that.
I mean, to be
Yes.
fair, it's not really our fault that they didn't see through my illusions and decided to set their town hall on fire. I mean, I don't know what they were thinking. We would be running from a dragon too.
They were very irresponsible.
That is true. What is with you mortals?
All right. So your party continues to debate where blame lies for the property damage in your last investigation as you make your way down the road. As you approach the edge of town, I would like everyone just to make a perception check for me.
Okay. Where is perception?
Doom, 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 doom.
I trusted you die, and then you failed me.
All right. So we got a 7, a 16, an 8, and
A 14.
okay. So, as you approach closer to town, well, Liz, Juniper is playing, right? Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. And so, some of you, Juniper and, Zaka, am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Are absorbed in the music. The other two, even though you're listening to music and sort of sing along, you are also paying more attention to your surroundings, and both of you pick up on the fact that you don't really hear anything else other than yourselves. The road trail, as you're entering town, kind of like passes through a few buildings towards the central open area. And you see to your side one of the large buildings right next to the road has a wooden sign that's sort of just swinging back and forth and creaking a little bit in the wind. It says General Store, but inside appears to be dark, and curtains are drawn on the buildings around you, even though it is the middle of the day, relatively speaking. You know that the mayor of Blackmond, Jaren Duskchin, had written to Neverwinter requesting assistance for the murders, but you don't actually know where to find him exactly, and there doesn't seem to be anyone out and about to ask. So what would you like to do?
Well, that's odd.
It's just uncalled for. Nobody's even listening to me. Do I see like an inn or like a big building?
So that general store seems to be one of the largest buildings around you. Across the other side of this open area in the creek, you see amongst a number of buildings a large 2-story building. And off to your right, you see what appears to be the church, Blackmond Abbey, which also rises fairly high and is a stone building, unlike most of the buildings here, which are made of timber.
Is the 2-story building like the most expensive looking?
I mean, from the outside, everything looks to be about the same. It's just bigger and taller than the rest. It's think log cabins, with stone fireplaces, but with like massive logs, is what everything is built out of. So this was 2 stories, and like fairly large. Most of the homes here, you imagine there's probably space underneath the roofs for like a crawl space, potentially, that people may sleep in because of the warm air being trapped up there. But this one is like a full 2 stories with a roof on top of that.
Dears, I'm telling you right now, that building is going to be where our issue is, because where there is overcompensation, there is typically some illusion of power.
Yes,
Well-
that's very true.
I mean, it also could just point us to where we need to go, considering the fact that we're supposed to talk to the mayor, but that makes sense. I mean, power is generally not something people that are sensible desire.
Shall we go?
Well, it's colder than a witch's titties out here, so could we maybe head inside and warm up, or I don't know, something?
Yes, it seems that will be most likely the best chance for us to get warm and find out what's going on around here.
Okay. So the group of you makes your way across this open area, across the bridge towards this building. As you go, Mira, you catch out of one of the corners of your eyes, on the from one of the buildings on the side of this open area, there's a little boy in one of the windows, watching your group go across the plaza, and as you turn to look towards him, he ducks back behind the curtain. So, you make your way to this building and arrive on the outside. You can see that it's got some decently sized windows and a large porch on the front that's covered. Some snow has blown across the edge, but it's a little, it's fairly protected from the elements. And there are some hitching posts in the front. There's no sign on the outside of the building, but it appears that, it may be a building of some importance, since, like you observed, it is larger than all of the rest.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and walk in.
Okay. So, great. Juniper drops down, throws the reins around the hitching post, and walks up. The door is unlocked if you're just gonna walk in.
Yeah. Open it. Hello.
No one responds to your call. But you find yourself in a large room with a desk on one side, and the walls have racks of antlers from massive elk, and there are furs from wolves and bears and other animals that frequent this remote area. A small bookshelf with a handful of books, and the fireplace, which is on the opposite side of the room from the desk, is currently out.
Sokka's going to go straight over to that desk and see if there's any drawers or anything. She's looking for secrets.
Okay, yeah, just like we loot the building. Great.
And Mira's going to
So-
get the help action. given to her.
Great. Okay, so roll an investigation check with advantage since you are being helped by your resident cat. 13. Okay. So the first thing that you notice is out on the desk. There is a very large book that is open that appears to be some kind of like town ledger, historical records of births, deaths, marriages, contracts, land sales, things of that nature. And it is open to its most current recent page, and there are 13 deaths within the last few days that are entered onto this page.
Wow.
That's odd.
Darling, I think I'm going to get to hit a lot of things.
Yeah.
So
Doesn't-
these names, you're skimming through them. One of the more recent names is Jaren Duskchin, the mayor, who
Oh no.
wrote for aid. You rifle through the drawers, I assume, since you're investigating. You're looking for secrets. As you said, the drawers don't have a lot in them. Quills, ink, things like that. In the bottom drawer of the desk, you find what appears to be a more personal diary or notebook of sorts.
I'm going to open that.
Okay. Do you want to spend some time reading it, or
I'm just
or
going
what?
to skim and see if I like
Okay.
anything jumps out that seems
Cool.
like it might be relevant.
And what about the rest of you? What are you doing, Myra? I assume you're hanging around just to
yeah, I'm on.
help out with the desk investigation. What is Jamie and Juniper doing?
Well, Jamie is kind of looking around, kind of casing the room, and I want to kind of so I have this thing as a rogue called Eye for Detail, where I can make a perception check looking for hidden creatures or objects, and just like kind of looking, kind of like scan the room if I'm seeing like any trap doors, any books that may be fake, hiding something, like kind of just taking a peek around, looking for something that is sneaky,
Things. Yes.
sneaky things.
All right. And Juniper, what are you doing?
I mean, I see everybody's got everything handled downstairs, so I'm gonna just keep walking and head right upstairs.
Great. Okay. So, great. We'll get to what you find in a minute. Jamie, as a rogue, you have an eye for hidden stashes and things like that. You meticulously inspect the rest of the room. leaving the desk to the other two. On the bookshelf, you find just a few books. Most of them are about crafts, leatherworking, masonry, farming, things like that. Yes.
That required a perception check for me. It wasn't just something I could do.
Oh, okay. I thought it was just a thing.
No,
So
no,
go
no,
ahead
no,
and.
perception check. That's why I did the little dance because I rolled well.
Okay.
I got a 27.
Oh wow, nice. Okay. Sorry, I thought that was just like an innate feature or something that you didn't have to roll for.
I have to roll
Great.
to do
Okay,
to look for
but
that kind of stuff.
yeah. Okay, so yeah. You go over the various hunting trophies that are on the wall, pulling to see if there's like anything hidden behind them. You see some of them are inscribed, presumably with the names of hunters and dates of when these things were found. You find it's not hidden, but there is a little trapdoor in one corner that goes down into a cellar that mostly has wood and other supplies. You go through those very carefully, see if there's anything untoward. And you are very confident that there is nothing extraordinary or untoward here, at least in this space. It seems just to be a fairly well-stocked home office of some kind. Circling back to Zaka and Mira, this diary you found. Mira, you're batting at the pages as Zaka is flipping through them. You just can't help yourself. Sometimes those feline instincts.
Yeah,
But Zaka's like, stop. Found something. The last entry in this book. You're not quite sure what to make of it. You see that a lot of them are just like these like very like simple phrases. Seem to be sort of someone's impression of how they felt about their day. Bad day, but it's not the worst I've been through type of comments. And you did find in the front of the book, Jaren Duskchin, the mayor's name, is on the inside. You think this is his diary. The last entry says, I keep telling myself it is nothing, but these deaths have my thoughts returning to her again and again. She has said nothing, but I feel guilty. That's it. That is the last entry before presumably he died.
I'm going to share that with all of the people who are on the floor. I'm not going to yell up.
When we see that, Mira casts message to Juniper and go, we found something. Please come back down, darling.
Okay. So, Juniper, you traipse through the rest of this building. As you open the door to the next room, you see that it's actually a small hallway with a set of stairs that goes upstairs. To the left is a door which you open and find a small bedroom. The bed is unmade. It looks like someone may have slept in it recently. And behind the stairs is a small kitchen. Upstairs is a number of bedrooms, 3 of them, which appear unused, made up. You don't really notice any personal items in these rooms. They're nice, but very plain. A little bit sterile, maybe, sort of like hotel rooms or something. There's not really any personality to them. The downstairs room had some cloaks hanging on the wall and just looked a little bit more lived in. But unless you're looking for something in particular, nothing jumps out at you until you receive this message.
No, I probably would have just poked around, saw if there was anything like in a desk drawer. Did somebody leave their Bible behind? I don't know. Um, and then when I get the message, I just respond. I'm like, okay, sugar, I'm gonna back down. And I just like,
Okay. Down you go.
all right, so what'd y'all find? Because there's nothing. I think we could stay upstairs. It looks pretty, I guess in-ish. There's nothing interesting really.
Well, the fact that the mayor we're supposed to meet is dead means we need to find another person to fill us in on what's happening. I don't know if how their elections work, but obviously someone wrote in his name in this book. So maybe we find them?
That makes
Mm.
sense to me.
We also should be on the lookout for her. I'll show the book.
Yes.
That's very indistinct. There are many people that use that pronoun.
Well, I mean, does he mention anybody who caught his interest earlier in the book? If you read back, anything he did wrong to feel guilty about?
All right. So as you begin flipping back through the diary, the four of you hear the horses start to stir outside, and the sound of footsteps of what sounds like a number of people outside.
Maybe I had
Did you leave the door open, or?
probably.
I don't think we were being subtle about it.
Right, I was gonna say you seem like the type of people to leave the door open in the middle of a snowstorm. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's fine.
You said it wasn't snowing yet.
Yeah, but I mean, even if it was, is what I'm saying. So, I mean, you're also the type of people to walk into a place without knocking. So, at least some of you. Except for the cat, which doesn't have opposable thumbs.
I cast Mage Hand and give you a thumbs up.
Right. Okay, so sorry to interrupt. Someone was starting to say something before I asked that.
Maybe we should hide the fact that we're looking through. Maybe just put everything a little bit back away from the desk so we don't look as suspicious. I'm
That
sorry, I'm
implies we're
distracted by
doing
the cat.
something guilty. That's fair. Cats are adorable, but
Yeah.
Zaka will put it back and fine.
Great. So, as you hastily shut the diary back into the drawer where you found it, and step back from the desk, in the doorway you see a large human man wearing a leather apron and holding a sword. Behind him are a number of elves, one or two other humans, and a large dwarf. They are all armed, and you have several arrows trained at you from longbows. The man says, "What are you doing?"
Dylan, we're the group that came in from Mysteries Inc. I guess your mayor just gone ahead and requested us. So we're here, and we figured mayor, probably the biggest building in town, and since nobody was outside out in the square, we figured we'd just come on in and see if we couldn't find them ourselves. I hope we didn't do nothing wrong.
Make a persuasion check.
That's amazing.
That's the best thing ever.
Persuasion?
Yep.
Oh man,
Well,
really? I rolled a 2, y'all, for a 12.
Ooh.
Ooh, your persuasion is a +10 still.
Well, I mean,
still-
that's true.
Yeah, I mean, you are a bard. A high level bard. Okay.
They don't shoot us immediately, I hope.
Hopefully.
He does not drop the weapon, but just sort of looks from one to another. Looks at the cat that's sitting on the desk. How big is are you?
Basically the size of this
A regular cat. Okay, regular cat size. The small halfling.
I do the whole when I see that he's looking at me, I do the whole grooming where the back leg is full up in the air and full on grooming.
Yep. The cat on the desk, the halfling, the Goliath, which roll me a performance check, word fangirl.
A performance check. Okay, remember
To
me
see
fondly.
how good you are and
Oh.
not looking guilty for my. Okay, so
Well, that would imply I have guilt.
There's
well,
no
you
guilt.
said that you're trying to
Shame.
look like you weren't just going through the desk. So
That's fair.
yeah. All right. So you're pretty. I mean, you don't look horribly suspicious. You're like,
No more suspicious
"You-
than we already
yep.
do.
No more suspicious than you already look. When this dead man's home. And of course, Juniper, cheerful and gregarious as ever, and says, "You're the help from Neverwinter."
Yep.
That's us.
Well, I'm afraid you're somewhat late for Jaren. He passed a few nights ago. But we're still in need of assistance, so if you're able to render that. He seems a little skeptical of the group. What do you do exactly?
Sokka is going to casually, not in a threatening way, have her great axe out and like across her shoulders and be like, darling, I understand. Must be very difficult, everything that's going on. We're very good at assistance. And she like kind of bumps up her axe. What exactly do we need to take care of?
You notice the group that's in front of you looks like, they respect your size and grade at axe, but they're not especially impressed. And you can see that none of them look like warriors or soldiers or anything like that, but all of them look very comfortable with their weapons. And you can tell that these people are used to working very hard, physically speaking, in this climate. Probably, judging from some of the animal pelts and things like that in here, are used to defending themselves. But still, you're significantly larger than anyone else in the room. It's impressive. But they seem a little skeptical. The man lets his sword drop, but he doesn't put it away. And motions to the others to come inside. It is cold out. And so they all step in, and he shuts the door. Some of them unstring their longbows and return their arrows to their quivers. And he says, I'm Gorin. I'm afraid that simple prowess with a weapon is not enough. If it were, we would have taken care of the problem ourselves.
Oh, we have more than that. We have more than just weapons.
He looks at you. That's good. As of yet, we don't know what has killed these people. So I'm afraid we cannot simply point you at the thing that needs taking care of.
At that moment, Mira's gonna jump off the desk and do the cat thing where she goes between the legs, rubbing it up against everybody friendly, like. And she's gonna be attempting to see if she smells any blood on any of the people that just walked in.
Okay, great. Make a perception check for me.
That's a natural.
Ooh,
20.
24. Natural 20. Great. As you circled, most of them ignore you. A few, one or two says, "Oh," and one reaches down to pat your back. You smell blood on several of them, actually. None of it smells like human blood.
Okay.
With a nat 20. Many of them smell like animals. Two of them smell strongly of fish. To you in your cat form. And you gather that a number of them have probably been preparing animals for food, leather, things like that. Only one or two of them smell like very fresh blood, the metallic-y smell, taste. But this is a hunting and trapping town. It is winter, so there's not like fresh produce and things like that, and you gather that is probably what you smell.
I'm gonna go into a corner and just see if anybody's watching me. If no one's watching, I'm just gonna go do the whole cleaning thing and secretly message to Zakra. It doesn't smell like any of these are possible culprits, thankfully. But that's just none of them smell like human blood.
Okay. Great. So, yeah, I've received the message. None of them smell like human blood.
I mean, I'm definitely not the charismatic type, so Azaka will out loud just go, disappointing. And then she's gonna
Oh.
look at this like group of people, like, have any of them been dying around the same place? Is there any information?
Are there obvious wounds? Are there...
Do y'all have a body we can look at? That'd probably just be the easiest way to do things, honestly.
Where's the body?
Oh my god.
Don't mean to be
Goran-
disrespectful. I'm sorry. But it seems like y'all already said you're a little out of your league, as strapping as y'all are. It seems to be much more of a let's take a look and start poking around type problem, correct?
Goran sighs. I hate to be responsible for your deaths, but if you are the accomplished help you claim, I suppose you understand the risks. The bodies are all at the Abbey in various states. You should know that a number of people were killed as they took the bodies to the Abbey. And some of the bodies have been dug up. So approach with caution.
I'm gonna go ahead and just ask the real obvious question here. When they were taking the bodies didn't want to go.
How do you mean?
Well, you said people were killed taking the bodies to the abbey. Was there an issue of reanimation? Is what I mean.
No,
Okay.
I myself helped carry Jaren and a few others to the abbey. We saw nothing. There were two who stayed upstairs. Well, I accompanied the priest into the basement to prepare the bodies, and well, we heard them scream, but there was nothing when we came back up.
Like their bodies were gone, or like they were dead?
No, they were dead. Their bodies were there.
So something moving relatively quickly and going kind of unnoticed. That'll be interesting. Does anybody have any? Let's go look at these bodies. I was gonna say, do you know if anything was taken off of the bodies? Rings, fancy jewelry, things of note.
As you're looking around, nobody seems to be wearing jewelry or anything of note.
A charm from a loved one, perhaps.
One of the elves laughs. We don't bury our dead with anything of note, but their clothes and such were intact. Nothing seemed to be taken from any of these bodies. They were simply dead.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
Just because we obviously don't know the town. Any like similarities between the people that have died? Like, were they all attending this? Like, I don't know. Like, did they all have a certain amount of wealth, like the mayor, or were they like, I don't know? Did they just seem like random? That helps.
As far as we can tell, it's random. Old Boland's son, a few farmers, Jaren, a few hunters, Garmetti, fisherman,
Dear, when exactly did this all start?
Goran steps past you to the book of records that's open on the desk, and spins it around, and looks back. 4.5 weeks ago,
And
he says,
nothing.
and taps an entry. That's when Garmetti was killed.
And who are they?
Fisherman.
Nothing at all suspicious before then?
No.
Right.
I've never had a murder before, as far as anyone here remembers. I suppose you could go through the book if you were interested in confirming that, but no one remembers anything of this sort before.
Any people of note coming through the town? Anyone new? Anyone not? I mean, I know we stick out, but like anyone before us come.
They're eyeing you. If this is a small town, we just got over just 300 people here. We notice strangers. No, the only stranger was dead. So one of the elves pipes up and says, "Yeah, Garmetti and some stranger, both bodies were outside the tavern. That's where we found them. But stranger was dead too, so.
Well, that's not
Tavern, you
helpful.
say?
Hmm.
Well, why don't we go take a look at
Listen.
these bodies?
Gorin steps back towards the door. Mayor's Lodge has rooms upstairs. Y'all are welcome to stay in. The bodies, as we mentioned, are at the Abbey, the church. If you'd like to inspect them, I don't think any of us care to risk it ourselves. You can find me at the general store if you need anything. But for the most part, folks are staying out of sight as much as possible until this matter is resolved, so you understand. Folks have lost enough loved ones the past few weeks.
So Mira is in the corner right now and just watching people.
Mm-hmm.
Right after she got into that corner and saw him doing the message, she's going to cast Detect Magic as a ritual to see if she has enough time to be able to see if anybody is giving off any magical residue or anything like that.
Okay. You conclude your ritual as Gorin seemingly is preparing to leave. And as you look over anyone, you don't actually detect any magic anywhere in the room. The exception being like yourself, your colleagues, normal, you being a magical creature, and their equipment and so on. But there doesn't really seem to be any magic at work here.
Okay.
I mean, we can go look at the bodies, and you all can just point us to the Abbey. I don't think y'all have to come with us.
Your funeral. One of the elves opens the doors and they start filing out. Gorin points, and it is this small town. It's only a short distance. You can see the large stone building back across the creek, rising over the tops of the houses. That's the Abbey. Directly across the creek from the Abbey is the tavern. Though, well, Raquel has kept it closed, honestly, the last couple of weeks. But that's where the first murder happened, so you might want to stop by there as well. If, it was about 4 weeks ago, but, maybe whatever you do could be helpful.
Thank you, dear. And Sokka's gonna start walking out.
You watch as the group walks off together, back towards the bridge where you came from, and you see that they're all on extremely high alert, walking very close together, weapons drawn, keeping a close eye out for everything. And the group of you is alone again with your horses
Sounds
at
like
the mayor's house.
Yeah.
Sounds like we're go.
Mira's gonna jump back onto Zaka's shoulder. Well, I can tell you right now that none of them smelled of human blood, or humanoid blood, I should say, and I didn't sense any magic coming from any of them. So I don't believe any of them are our culprits right now.
I mean, from the description they're giving us, it sounds like we're fighting something either very fast or very invisible. Or maybe both.
This is supposed
Well,
to be-
I'm sorry. Go on ahead, sweetie.
Oh, go right ahead. I'm done.
I was just gonna say, like, I don't understand why. Like, I understand why they're all hiding up in their houses, but is it something that only gets them when they're outside? Like, I don't see how that helps. I don't know. Come on, let's go look at these bodies, see if there's anything interesting about them.
Okay. So, y'all are heading to the Abbey.
Mhm.
Are you gonna take your horses, leave them here?
It's just
How
like across
far
the
is
street,
it,
right?
Yeah, I mean, it's not
Yeah.
that far. Y'all
Yeah,
are
but-
at number 3 on the map, and you're headed to number 1. Like, down the
They're
street.
hitched up. We'll leave them there.
Yeah,
That's fine.
okay. So as you start to walk, it is starting to snow. It's getting into late afternoon, and with the heavy cloud cover, it's sort of that weird grayish color that's not quite dark, but the sun is so far behind snow-laden clouds that it's not very bright either. You cross the bridge and crunch your way through the snow up towards the Abbey. It's a medium-sized stone building surrounded by a low stone wall about 3.5 feet tall. So too tall for our halfling. But not particularly high. It doesn't seem as though it's really designed to keep a lot out. It's more decorative. And there are these large, fairly ornate for this area, carved wooden doors that have sheaths of wheat and grain and fruits and vegetables carved into them, standing closed at the front of the building. You knock,
I knock.
and your knock sort of echoes into a hollow space behind the doors, and nothing. It's very still, except for the 4 of you breathing, standing in the snow.
Laka
Myra
is going to...
uses
Sorry, go ahead.
yeah. Myra uses Mage Hand to open up the door.
All right. The doors open inward into a fairly dim space. There are windows you see on the side of the room, and directly in front of you, stained glass windows in the opposite side of the room behind a large statue. Are any of you religious? No, you do not. You do not have religious characters.
I would say yes. She would have been religious because she's technically a celestial. That's under the Moonweaver.
Cool.
Or
Roll a religion
moon goddess you
check.
have.
Yep.
Okay. That's a 13.
Hey, 13. All right. Uh, based on the carvings on the door and the statue in front of you, you think that this is probably a church to Shantia, also known as the Great Mother, the goddess of the harvest and life and bounty, which kind of makes sense for a small rural community like this one. Inside, you can see directly to your right, there is a small fountain. It's very cold in here, but the fountain isn't frozen over. You can hear just the faint dripping of water as it goes over the sides down into the bowls. And there are these low wooden benches in the middle of the room that have little worn cushions on them. up in front, there's like a slightly raised stone platform with this statue of Shantia, and two small wooden doors on either side of it, as well as the stained glass windows that show the changing seasons in fields and the forests. It is silent.
Are there like bodies laid out here in the chapel, or
From where you're standing at the door, you do not see any. It is a fairly large room, and there are benches and things like that. So, and a couple pillars which are supporting the roof. So, it is possible that there may be bodies further in, but from where you are, you don't see any.
I'm sorry in advance.
Oh no.
Zaka is going to go, darlings, darlings, I would like to hit something as like loud as she can walk around and start looking.
Okay. Zaka's voice startles the rest of you, which are leaning in carefully to see if you say anything. But also, this isn't the first time that Zaka has done something like this, so
Zaka, one day we're gonna have a conversation about what it means to stealth. One day we're gonna have a conversation about this.
That just sounds like not hitting people, darling, and I don't like that.
You can hit people, just stealth it can be helpful.
Oh, it can be quite hilarious, darling. I mean, I've once seen a celestial punch a demon in the back of the head and he passed out. It was absolutely glorious.
Fine, fine. I'll work on having less fun.
I've
Does
also
any-
been more
are
told
there
to
any-
somebody a
oh.
wedgie too, so that is also an option for you.
are there any what?
Any reactions within the church, like of a person coming about?
You don't hear anything, no.
I'm starting to fear that maybe we're a little late and perhaps the priest here got murked.
to be the crass one, but wouldn't that just give us fresh bodies?
Yeah,
Oh,
but then that
yeah.
makes us look suspicious.
Fair. And I'm just gonna, I guess, follow Zaka and start walking forwards.
Okay. So you enter into the chapel. Are all of you entering in the chapel?
I think
mean,
so.
I'm on Sokka's shoulder, so of course I am.
Yeah. Okay. So you all enter into the chapel. And as you approach the front, you see on the floor, who has the highest perception?
See, I have a +4 to my perception.
I have
Passive
a
is
plus-
14.
I have a +8.
Oh,
and my
yeah.
passive is an 18.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, you see, I assume y'all are all scoping out the place as you walk through. So you notice first, there are some, as you go past the benches in the front, there's these two large pillars before this raised area with the statue and everything. And to the side, on the left, on the floor, you can see some now dried stains of, based on your line of work, what you're pretty sure is blood on the floor.
Well, darn it. I think we're a little bit late. Can I go over to see if there's a body over there?
You step around the pillar, and you don't see any bodies. There is the two doors that are set on either side. The chamber, which is like quite large, cuts in to an alcove where the statue is, and the two doors are on either side of that. And then actually in the side of the building, there's another door that seems to lead out into the area. What the taller ones of you saw was a graveyard as you were walking up over the wall. It leads out into that graveyard as far as you can tell.
Does the blood seem to be going like to one of the doors?
There are. It's hard to tell. It's old blood, and there's not like any like big smears. You do notice like a few other smaller spots of blood, which seem closer to one of the doors that's on the side of the alcove.
I'm gonna go over.
Mhm.
Any responses?
Silent.
I open the door.
All right. What are the rest of you doing?
Oh no.
Seeing what's happening, Myra is going to be casting Major Armor, and now she sparkles. Or
Great,
they
Sparkle
sparkle.
Kitty. Sparkle for 8 hours. Love that.
I'm a Celestial. I have my priorities straight here.
Juniper, what are you doing?
They said there were some bodies in here, so I'm trying to see if they can find any bodies.
Okay. You scout out the chapel. You do not see any bodies. And
Those liars.
Zaka.
I will be right behind, following the blood, because wherever the blood goes, Zaka goes.
Okay. Cool. So, Jamie, you open the door and you find yourself in a space that's like a little bigger than a large closet. There is a small shelf, and in the back there is a set of stairs that go down.
Well, I think
It
we
looks
found the
like
basement.
yeah.
Leave the bodies are this away.
Juniper, while you're scouting around, do you open the door on the other side, or are you just looking in the main chamber?
Once they say that they think they found the bodies, I'll just pop it open real quick and stick my head in
Okay.
and see if there's anything interesting. See if I get a fireball to the face. I don't know.
You open the door and it seems like it's a small storage room. There's a shelf and a number of crates and barrels. No bodies.
I mean, there's crates. I'm gonna go ahead and just start opening them up a little bit. See if there's anything
Cool.
fun in here.
Cool. Roll me an investigation check.
Investigation.
Jamie and Mira, are you gonna go down?
I believe so, and I'll motion for Zaka and Juniper to
Okay.
join us eventually.
Do either of you have dark vision?
Oh, that is a question. No, I do not.
Okay,
Maybe I
so
Let's see.
Are you, I don't think Goliaths do.
Oh, touche. I thought I had it from something else, but I
Oh,
might
that's
not.
possible. I got a 16 for my investigation check.
16. Great. Well, while you figure out if y'all can see in the basement as you go down the stairs,
I do have dark vision.
you
This
go
is why I'm on
through.
the way.
Yes, magical cat. Great. So you can see in the dark. Juniper, you go through the shelves and the crates. On this shelf, you see that there are a number of books. You pull a couple off the shelf and just like check out what are they. They seem to be records of like seasonal changes and crops and agricultural records. Rainfall, boring. You open a few of the various barrels and crates. Some of them have seeds in them. Others seem to have some of those cushions that you saw out on the benches. And you also find a small metal box that rattles when you shake it that is locked.
Oh, well, that's interesting. I'm not going to be able to open this. Do I see a key anywhere? Or is there like a door that we missed?
You do not see a key or another door in this room.
Well, dang. All right, I'm coming out of box. Hold on, it's interesting. Saka, I need you to break something real quick.
I would love to, darling.
Here, go ahead and pop this open towards you so I don't get blown up.
And guidance.
I'm gonna like try to tilt it away from everybody and take the end of my hand axe and
I'm the rogue.
I'm just saying, I was told to break it. I'm gonna break it.
And there goes our one healing potion, y'all.
Roll a strength check.
Oh, it's
my God.
fine.
A 15.
Roll a d4.
Plus a
guidance.
D4 guidance. Oh no.
That's a 1, so it's a 16.
Okay, well, 16 is what you needed. Are you being careful as you open this?
No, she's breaking it.
Okay,
I mean, she is trying
Uh,
to make sure it's not facing any of us.
cool.
But not, like,
roll me a
thinking
d20. All I care about is if it's 10 or less or more than 10.
No. The rogue is just
Natural 20.
I'm concerned
It's
about this
shattered.
It's gonna shatter.
Okay. You successfully open it without breaking the contents inside.
Oh, that's amazing.
There are 2 healing potions inside.
Oh my God, that would have gone so bad.
It's fine, darling. I opened it.
Yep.
Do they seem like
Um,
regulars or graders or?
They're fairly large. You would gather they are greater healing potions,
Oh, snap.
which are 44 plus 4. I had to Google it.
Who wants those? I would like one because I have probably the lowest amount of hit points at this party.
We'll see about that. But if nobody else wants one, I'll take it.
Go for it.
Wonderful. Thank you kindly, gang.
Since you don't have a cleric or priest as part of your party.
Oh, that's right.
Wait. No, you have the cat. I'm a divine soul sorcerer, so I have healing spells.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's why I
But
Bless.
it's also a cat, so
I can't
depends
take it.
on the mood, you know.
Valid.
There's a reason why I have percentile dice next to me.
Oh no.
Okay, so can anyone besides the cat see in the dark?
I can see in
No.
the dark.
But I have a solution to this, which is a torch.
Great. So are you gonna light a torch or just
I light the
Okay.
torch and we're Scooby Dooing this, and we're going into the basement.
Okay. You light a torch and you head down the stairs. You have a very high passive perception, Jamie. As you are coming down the stairs, you hear a very faint noise, like a very small scratching sound.
Like being made by an animal or being made by a humanoid.
You can't tell. Everyone's clomping
Yep.
down the stairs.
Hey, hold up. Yep.
Back.
Stop. Can I tell where it's coming from?
Okay, is everyone being quiet? Everyone stops.
Mostly.
You hear the scratching noise again. As you're coming down the stairs. What's the marching order?
No.
I think it's Jamie, me with Kitty with me,
Mhm.
right?
I'll
We
bring
show
up
them
the
each
end.
other.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like
Cool.
that's the
So
order we went
you're in
into it.
front, Jamie. Great.
I go like this and just like everyone has to stop behind me.
I like that because you're the halfling and the two
Yep.
behind you are much bigger.
Yep.
It's great. There's this little tripwire at the bottom of the stairs. Okay, so as you're approaching the foot of the stairway, you can see there's like an opening, perhaps like a hallway of some kind, directly to your right, and kind of across from you is a closed doorway, and you feel like the noise is coming from the other side of the doorway.
Is there anywhere where I can is there like a place where I can like stick a torch?
There is a bracket in the stone on the wall at the foot of the stairway. It is taller than you can reach.
Zaka, Juniper, one of you, can you help me?
I'll do the thing.
Okay, great. So Zaka puts the torch into the bracket holder. And you can see there's actually the wall across from you with the door in it. There's another door along the wall that cuts out from the bottom of the stairwell directly opposite. So there's actually two doors, and out of this narrow hallway, a little further down, you can see there is another larger room. There's actually a pillar there that kind of blocks the line of sight into the rest of that larger room. So the light kind of like goes down the hallway, and then there's like a little bit that goes out. It's kind of musty down here, and seeing as y'all are investigators, can smell dead people. It's definitely some bodies down here.
Oh well, at least we found them. At least. So we going in or?
Well, there's the bodies, and then there's also this scratching noise I'm hearing, which am I still hearing?
Mm-hmm.
When I point it out to everyone, does everyone hear it?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
you're not the only one who can hear this.
Okay, I'm like,
That'd have
okay.
been interesting.
That'd have been a twist.
And it's behind another door.
Mm-hmm. It's behind the door that was across from the stairwell.
This could be a mouse, or it could be something bad, or it could be a trapped human or humanoid or some person.
Mira's going to sniff the air to see if she smells any scent of rat or mouse or something like that.
Okay. Roll a perception check.
Okey-dokey. Not bad. Not great. So 14.
Okay. You don't. It's hard to make out because there's like strong dead body smell down here, a lot of must. It does smell a little bit like mice, also like cat, but like there's just a lot of smells. You can't really tell what this thing is that's making the noise.
I'm gonna go ahead and walk on over to the door. And I'm gonna take my cloak off and lay it down so I don't get my clothes all dirty. And I'm gonna lay down and do that little kid thing where they like try and peek under the door with one eye and see like, do I see feet or do I see anything really?
Great.
Is there an eyeball staring back at me real awkward?
You see a little orange paw scraping underneath the crack in the door, just like.
I'm poke the paw.
You hear a meow.
All right. Unless there's something real clever in here, it's probably just an orange cat.
At this point, hearing Cat, Mira's gonna go jump down, walk over to the door, and go. Oh, I just woke up the kittens. Trying to communicate with the cat.
Oh, we can't hear you.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Oh, there you
Can
go.
you hear me?
There you go.
Okay.
Could hear your meows.
Okay. I guess my noise canceling does not like my meows. It's like, no, that's not human. Cut it out. Okay.
Well, 2 points for confusing it.
Yeah, there are meows coming back to you. They start to escalate into just louder and louder meows.
I guess in Cat, I'm asking, is there any predator on your side, or is it?
Do you
safe
have
to
speak
go
with
in?
animals?
No, I do not. I was thinking cat to cat.
Cool.
I mean, but you're not really
Being
a
a cat, you're familiar with, some core cat messages such as feed me, go away, pet me, and so on. You're pretty sure this meow means let me out.
Oh, I've done this so many times. I think we should open the door so that our friend here can get out, because pretty sure they're very hungry. And she's gonna mage hand the door open.
Dunk.
Okay.
Oh, give me a minute. Get back up.
Yeah, the door opens outward as Juniper is starting to get back up. But Mage Hand only has about like 10 pounds of force, so it's not, enough to move Juniper out of the way. It does bump into her back. And the head of a little orange cat is kind of squeezing out from behind the door as Juniper is getting up. Look, it sniffs at you. It looks a little bit confused. And then it starts walking in between your legs and meowing and purring. It seems hungry.
I'm gonna give it a piece of jerky.
Great.
I'm
We
also
can
turn
gonna
this
give it a piece of
into-
jerky.
Cat
Really
simulator.
pleased to have the jerky, and carries it off into the corner at the bottom of the stairwell and begins to eat it.
Hey, dead bodies.
Great. So the door that is now open in front of you reveals a small bedroom. There is a bed with little trunk at the foot of it, and a desk and a bookshelf, and another door on the opposite side. Another cat joins us. And no bodies in this room. It does smell like overflowing litter box.
All right, so he been down here for a minute. You said there was another door in here?
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, I'm gonna go poke that one too, I guess.
That one opens into what appears to be like a small kitchen. With a fireplace that is definitely out. Does not appear to have been lit for a little while. Liz and Jamie, at the same time, the two of you hear a faint noise, like a little bit of like an echoing click from upstairs. Possibly like a door was shut or something like that.
Is it like the doorway maybe right like above us? Or did it sound even further away than that?
It sounded even further.
We might be being followed, y'all.
Well,
Or we left the door open and somebody was annoyed about it again. I'm not sure. But
I can stealth back up the stairs and just check. And
Mira goes
scream if
over.
something happens.
well, I
Got
mean,
it.
maybe don't run off on your own. If something invisible is really killing folks, then it'd be all sorts of bad if we all just wander up there one at a time. And
I'll scream.
I mean, All right, I'm not gonna stop you, I guess.
I could go with you, dear. I'm very excited to break some bones.
Yeah, why don't the two of you go and the two of us will look over these bodies a little bit.
Okay, Zaka, there's this thing called stealth. It's
Hold on. It's fine. It's fine. And I just walk up to Zaka and I grab them on the shoulder and I'm like, just try not to run into anything, okay? And I cast invisibility.
Okay.
Oh no, we have an
Okay.
invisible
We
barbarian.
have an invisible person that likes hitting things.
Okay, so Zaka and Jamie are going upstairs.
Yep.
Before
Okay.
Jamie goes upstairs, Myra's going to guidance Jamie.
Great.
I'm
Okay.
gonna go ahead and mark that.
So, Zaka make a stealth check with advantage, and Jamie make a stealth check.
With guidance.
Ooh, that's not great, but that's better. Plus my stuff.
Do you have advantage or just guidance?
I just have
Jamie?
guidance.
Okay.
I don't have advantage. Hold on. You do math.
Mathing.
Oh, even with okay, that's 8 and then 9 and then 17.
Okay, so a 16 and a 17.
Kind of low for a rogue.
You're pretty stealthy. I mean, Zaka's invisible. If no one is like intently watching or listening from you, you'll probably be successful. You know, you pad your way up the stairs. Juniper and Myra, what are you two doing? You did not find any bodies in the kitchen or the bedroom.
Oh, I'm gonna go back out and we smell dead bodies, so I'm gonna just go to where
Yeah.
it smells disgusting.
Okay.
I follow.
Are y'all taking the torch with you? No, you
have
can
dark
both see in the dark.
I think we both got dark vision, don't we?
Right. Okay. So,
We're fine. Let's
the two
walk
of
into the
you
darkness. It's okay.
go down the corridor into this much larger room, and from where you are, as you step around this pillar, you can see on the far side of the room there is a large stone sarcophagus, and then there are wooden coffins laid out along the back wall. Some of them are closed, one or two of them are opened. And as you approach, you can see in the open ones, there are definitely bodies inside, and you presume possibly in the closed ones as well. So, going back to Jamie and Zaka, who are stealthing up the stairs, what are you looking for? What's your plan? What are you trying to accomplish?
I just want to see if anyone's followed us, if it's the priest coming back, or if there seems to be a creature following us.
Okay, cool. So you slide up the stairs, backs to the wall, peek up as you're coming around across the floor. You don't see or hear anything. Very quiet.
I'll poke my head up a little farther.
Okay. You're still in this closet-like room, so you have like a narrow line of sight out into the rest of the chapel. From there, you don't see anything.
Can I get up to the door of the closet?
Yeah.
That's a horrible idea. But I do it.
Sneakily. Okay. And are you gonna like peek out to see?
Yep.
Okay.
As stealthily as I can.
Make a perception check.
Okay. Dice, don't fail me now. I cursed myself.
I saw the look on your face. You're like, it's not it.
That's a nat one.
That one.
Oh no!
The church.
Plus my
look-
perception is a 9, but it's still
10.
that one.
The church looks the same as it did when you went downstairs.
And Zaka walk up.
Yeah, you're following along behind, invisibly. Do you want to step out? Are you staying in the room?
I want to step out. Saka's
Okay.
looking for something to hit.
Cool. You step out. Make a perception check for me. 15. You don't see anything either. Juniper and Myra. You have found the bodies. What would you like to do with them?
I would like to message to let's see, Jamie, and go, my dear, we have found the bodies. If you okay up there, come back down so we can properly investigate the situation down here. And then she's going to kind of look around to kind of see if she sees any movement or anything like that. Yes,
Okay,
he's
make a
totally
perception check.
okey-dokey.
I'm loving the double cats on desks. I don't know if chat can see this, but there
It's
are 2 cats on
100% dinner
desks.
time, and he's
There's
very upset.
technically 3 cats.
Five.
Because one is in my
Keyboard. Or no, lap.
dice box.
Dice box. Ian Juniper, what were you looking for?
Oh, I'm gonna just go ahead and start like, I hate to say feeling up the bodies, but kind of feeling up the bodies and like seeing if
Great.
there's anything weird.
Okay. So like an investigation check, a medicine check. What are you trying to discern?
I'm trying to figure out basically, are there any weird marks, bumps, bruises, bite marks?
Okay, medicine check.
Anything odd? Well, damn, I was hoping for investigation, but here we go.
Guidance. You get cat bopped.
Don't even bother.
Oh no!
I rolled a 2. Plus 1 is a 3. So
The smell is strong. They're getting a little putrid, and like,
oh, this one's squishy, y'all. Don't touch it. Don't touch it.
I don't want to say that when June was about to go investigate, Mira went to give guidance and hit her in the eye.
It's real soft. It's real soft, yo.
Okay, and Mira, you rolled a 5. You did not see any movement or anything that caught your eye.
Did you also roll a nat 1?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Y'all
my
are
perception.
genius investigators.
We're professionals.
None of us took. Well, I didn't take insight. I didn't take medicine. I'm like, we did real good on this, y'all.
I
I
investigate.
took sleight of hand, which is helpful when you have to unlock boxes.
It's fine. It's fine. We're doing good. We're
But we
doing
don't
good.
do that. We just
It's
break them with
okay.
battle axes.
So
Killing
It's a
it.
hand axe.
I would say that Mira is now distracted and doing the whole this to the bodies, like the full cat. Yes, I'm talking about.
Okay. Yeah, so the body you're smacking is indeed a little bit squishy. Upstairs, you have received the message. They have found the bodies. What are you both doing upstairs? You don't see anything.
Can we tell which door was opened or closed?
How would you like to tell that?
Just kind of going based on memory, remembering like, I know that
You're trying to see if one is now open that is closed,
Yeah.
or
Yeah, like if the status of any of the doors in the chamber have changed.
Okay. Make an intelligence check.
Oh.
This
Oh
is
no.
regular intelligence.
You got this. You got this.
I don't trust my dice now.
Can't look.
Inspiration from downstairs. I can't do that.
Okay. 17?
Okay. You look around. You're pretty sure. Okay. You closed the outside doors when you came in. Yes, they're still closed. You look over to the closet that Juniper was in. You're pretty sure Juniper would never close the door behind her. It is still open. The door to the downstairs closet. Pretty sure Juniper was the last one. Yep, it was still open. She wouldn't have shut the door. And the side door out to the graveyard was shut when you entered, and it's still shut. Looks like all the doors are as you left them.
Jamie, darling,
Yes.
this whole stealth thing you would like me to try, does that come with the ability to maybe put something down so we know if somebody comes down with us? 'Cause aren't the killing things possibly not visible?
This is true.
I could just swing my axe if you'd like. That's fine too.
I don't think we should do that because I think that may damage the church. And I think we're already running on some thin ice with this town. Uh,
What's a
mean-
little property damage?
Listen, that got us into issues in the last town. I like not being banned from places.
You had fun.
Whether or not I had fun is a different question.
So while Jamie's trying to do this, since I'm invisible,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go up a little bit just to the front, away from Jamie, and just take out my hand axe and swing a little.
Oh god.
Okay.
Say something.
Cool.
I'm gonna try not to hit anything.
Okay. Are you still trying to be stealthy?
I'm invisible. I'm not like just whipping around, like in a general circle around me, just seeing if anything yells.
Okay. You walk
You
up,
made the chaos child invisible. I'm gonna do it.
Oh god.
swing around with your axe. If you hit anything, you don't feel it.
Okay, I'll go back and pretend I didn't move.
Can I hear Jamie
Yeah, your
moving?
passive
Can I hear-
perception
can I
is
hear Zara
18.
moving around?
You hear it. You hear it. She only rolled a 16 to stealth. Your passive perception is 18. You hear her. Little swish, swish.
I know what you're doing.
Darling, I'm doing nothing. You
I-
can't see me, can you?
Just because I can't see you doesn't mean I can't hear you. You're not. You don't
I
make.
don't know what you're talking about, darling. I've been here the whole time.
Okay, let's just go back down to the others. Beer said they found some bodies. Let's see if we can figure something out. It doesn't
Okay.
look like anything changed up here, so let's try.
Cool. Great. So, you rejoin your fellow investigators downstairs.
Do we find like Juniper just like being like, and Mira's going batting the bodies?
Yes,
It's like
they are
extremely
professionals.
fascinating.
Y'all, it's
Do
real
you
soft.
worried
Like,
about
don't touch it.
Worried about property damage. They're poking bodies.
Desecrating the dead. Okay, so
I need to look for something real fast.
what would you
Oh
like
no!
to
So
do?
Oh
Mira
no!
looks over at as Zaka pulls up her paw, and you see like little streaks of lightning, and she touches the body and casts Shocking Grasp
Okay,
on the dead.
roll to hit.
No! Oh, I hate this.
It's gonna pop like a balloon.
That's a 19.
Yeah. Okay, roll damage.
I wasn't thinking pop like a balloon. I was thinking like jump like a fish.
And that is, let's see, 7 lightning damage.
Yeah. The body is a little ripe. It now smells like sort of like the smell of hair that's caught in a hair dryer, combined with like a little bit of rot. Like there's that like faint, electric burning smell of decaying flesh and hair. It's real gross.
Okay. And on
The
that,
slip home.
okay. Have we figured out what may have caused the death of these people?
Tried, honey. I tried, but I wasn't able to figure out anything. I touched it and it started feeling like jello in a sock, and it just wasn't okay.
Can I take a look at the body and see if I can
Sure.
figure out what
So-
killed them?
Y'all spread out. There's a number of coffins. Would you like to open any of the other ones, or are you just gonna look at this one that's been fried? Or
I'll open a fresh one.
okay. Fresh one.
Crack it open a cold one.
Zaka, are you investigating your own body? Are you helping? What is your plan?
I'm, as somebody who likes making things hurt, gonna look at a different body and see if I can
Okay. So
recognize
both of
it.
you roll a medicine check if you're trying to figure out what killed them. 5.
Natural 20.
Okay. Somebody is good at investigating bodies.
22.
Love that for you. Okay. Zaka, you're like, oh, this one is squishy too.
I'm sorry.
It's a stress toy. You're supposed to squeeze it.
Oh my god.
It does like the
Jamie.
little ball in the mesh where it just squeezes through your fingers.
While your compatriots are comparing similes and metaphors for the feeling of touching these bodies, you carefully examine the body in your coffin. Looks to be an an elf, half elf, sorry. Wearing a simple brown robe, sort of darker olive skin, and dark brown hair, about shoulder length. As you look over the body, you don't see anything at first, and you're like, this is so weird. And you gingerly kind of like reach in there. It's a little fresher than some of the other bodies, and you pull it over on its
That's
side.
squishy.
And as you look, you can see that there is a deep stab wound in the lower back.
Does it look like it was made by
You
a
pull it
weapon?
over a little further and you see there's actually a second stab wound on the other side. Like someone has like stabbed in the lower back on both sides.
Does it look like it was made by a weapon or like talons or like claws?
You pull away a little bit at the edge of the fabric, which is kind of clinging to these wounds, and it's hard to tell. You feel like it's not a sword wound, like it's too small for that. It sort of looks like a rapier or an ice pick, like something like thin and very sharp, that just went in. If it's claws, maybe, but there's not like slashing gouge wounds. It just looks like something very sharp, just like stabbed through. Might be a weapon, doesn't look like a sword or dagger. Not a typical average weapon.
Okay, I relay this information. I first turn back. I see all of them poking bodies and saying, "This is one is squishier than the other one. Try how squishy this one is." And I kind of just like, okay, and then I relay the information I have to my party.
Okay. Great.
Can I open another casket or check another casket to see if the body has the same kind of wounds?
That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say, could I take the one that I'm currently poking and like flip it now that I know what to look for and just pop its shirt up and see
Yeah.
if there was any more kidney shots?
As you examine the other bodies, you find similar wounds on them, like these like sharp, deep stab wounds. Most of them have one or two on the bodies. And yeah, are you looking for anything else in particular?
Do they all seem to be in like the same place?
Not exactly, but all of them do appear to have been stabbed in the back. But not like the exact same spot.
Maybe they all have the same friend.
While this is all happening, everybody's investigating the bodies. Myra's going to be casting Detect Magic as a ritual again.
Okay. You're casting the ritual, and the torch that is in the bracket on the wall near the stairwell goes out. Thank you. Welcome back, chat. Thanks for bearing with us while we hydrated and took a bit quick bio break. In case you missed our introduction, we are here raising money for the Trevor Project with the Greater Restoration crew as part of a charity tabletop marathon that started yesterday. There will be another game after this one, but right now we are in the middle of investigating a number of bodies in various states of decomposition in the basement of the Blackmond Abbey, which our band of investigators have been sent to look into from a large guild in Neverwinter. After Jaren Duskchin, the mayor of this small town, sent a request for assistance dealing with a series of murders several weeks ago. After traveling for just over a week, they have arrived only to find that Jaren is actually dead, as are a number of other people. And they are now investigating the bodies. The torchlight that was in one of the wall brackets near the stairs has just suddenly gone out. Mira and Juniper, you both have dark vision. You others do not. Mira, you were casting Detect Magic ritually.
Yeah.
Yep. When this happened. What would you all like to do?
Do I see
I have-
anything magically related?
You're almost done casting. You need like 30 more seconds.
Okay, so I focus on casting and finishing off.
Okay.
these
You don't see any, like you can see while you're ritually casting this. You don't see anything immediately.
Okay.
Can I grab a torch from my backpack and light it up?
Yep. Okay, you do.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Anything like climbing on the ceiling?
Can
You
I
look
do
up.
Can I do my eye for detail and try and see if I can spot a hidden creature?
Yeah. So both of you make a perception check, Liz and Prince Tuck.
Hate that.
Hey,
16.
16.
13.
You don't see anything except cobwebs on the ceiling. And Jamie doesn't see anything either. However, Jamie and Juniper, you both hear that sound again. The same one that Zaka and Mira had, or no, Zaka and Jamie had gone upstairs to investigate, like the
The
sound of
door
the
closing
door
sound?
closing. Yep.
Someone's moving around in here. This is a question for the GM.
Mhm.
This is because I was looking at my notes. Do we know what that ship? Because I remember that we think the shipment and the Mitch and a bunch of murderers are connected. Do we know what that shipment was of?
Well, it's just a standard shipment from the logging camp.
Okay.
So about
Okay.
once a month, they send out basically large trees that they've chopped down and gotten rid of most of the branches. And they pile them all on carts and
Okay.
ship them to
So it's like
Neverwinter
okay. Now I get
logging
what it,
camp. Yep.
I get what it was. Yeah. Everyone's staring your toes. I think we have a visitor, and they don't particularly want to say hello. Zaka, you may get to hit something.
Oh, I'm
Myra,
excited.
you finish your ritual casting of detect magic. Focus. Do you sense anything? Do you sense anything? From the stone sarcophagus on the end of the room, you sense just a very faint magical essence from inside. It's not very large.
Okay. I keeping detect magic up. Myra's going to message Zakra. If you would be a dear and look over at that coffin over there, and she gives a description of it. There's a magical essence coming from there.
You sense that it's abjuration magic. I think with detect magic, you can tell the school of magic, right?
I believe so. Let me double check.
Yeah.
Yeah, and any school that I know. Basic magic and such like that. So yeah, I send that message to Zakra in case she wants to hit something, possibly.
I will absolutely go over. It's the coffin you said specifically?
Yeah, I
There's
basically
like a stone sarcophagus at the end.
It's a
And then-
stone.
Yeah.
Shit. Okay. Oops, sorry.
You're a barbarian, though. It makes sense. Why she was like, you lift it.
I'm gonna try to open it, but also have my axe very ready, like just waiting to be like right at down.
Make a strength check. Or
Oh no! Oh no!
Feeling it, y'all.
Professional, okay?
you try to lift and you tug and you tug. Can't tell if maybe there's like a latch somewhere or if the like groove that you're putting your fingers into is actually just ornamental and doesn't lift up, but you cannot get the top open.
Mira's watching the entrance to this area.
mean,
See if
I
you
mean
see
to
them.
be a bother, but we found out what we came to find out from these bodies. Why don't we go up where there's a little more light? If this whatever it is putting out torches, then maybe we go where we don't have to rely on the torches.
That is probably a smart idea.
Well, there is something in that coffin over there. The one that Zakra is trying to open. You know you're supposed to live with your legs, not your back. How many times do I need to tell you?
Oh dear, I got excited. Can I try to hit it with my great axe?
God.
Um,
the axe, the ultimate
Yes,
can opener.
of course you can. There's like a relief of a elven woman lying in repose. Or are you just gonna just like
Is this a
smash
very
it?
fancy coffin and you're about to destroy it?
Look at that, this one looks like it's been here a long time. Like it's old. It's got cobwebs and things on it. It's not
Oh,
like the wooden
no.
coffins with the bodies in it.
I'm gonna try to be stealthy as I've been told. And instead of hit straight down, I'm gonna hit the side, like hoping like almost like pop a lock or something so the top will come off and I won't
Right.
kill her.
Okay. Roll to hit,
Kill her, she's dead.
and then let's see how much. Yep, great. And then how much damage? Roll your damage.
Oh my god.
It's fine. I only did 5. I'm just
5.
it's what I
Okay.
do.
You take a large chip is a generous word. There's a large chunk missing, and you feel like you've like loosened it up. So if you'd like to like try to open it up now, roll strength again with advantage or
I'm gonna-
athletics.
Juniper is gonna start moving towards the stairs.
Okay.
I'm gonna back up a little bit.
Okay. 16.
So 16.
Yeah. So you don't like completely flip the lid off, but you do manage to like push it over. And inside you can see that there are some very old skeletal remains of someone. As you look over, you see there's like a little plaque on the side of the sarcophagus that says something about like a founding person of Blackmon. And you see that there's like a small ring on one of the fingers that looks fairly shiny for being in a coffin with a bunch of bones. And you gather it's probably magical.
At this time, Myra's probably popped over there to look at it.
Darling, I
Bobby.
was right. Big building, illusion of power.
Yep. You take the ring, or
Would you like it?
Myra just picks up the paw. Dear, does it look like I will be able to wear a ring on this paw? No.
Just as a sorry.
as a paw slit, I think you could.
I was gonna say you could just wear it as like a little bracelet or something. It'd be real cute. I don't know why I had your accent there for a minute. This place is making me weird.
Yeah, we have been together for years. Remember you broke the spell? Anyways.
Oh, which is why it was weird. This place is making me pick up your accent. I don't know. I don't like it.
So you're hanging out by the stairs. Are you on watch? Are you doing anything in particular over there?
I mean, I'm keeping an eye on them over by the
Okay.
sarcophagus, and I'm keeping like I just keep looking back and
You're
forth.
just-
Look up the stairs. Look this way. Look up the stairs.
Insight checking everything for vibes. Okay. Yep. Cool. So you can take the ring.
This sounds like a very pointed question from the DM.
Well, I'm asking, like you found the source of this magic that you found. It is this ring.
It's the question: do we want the effects of the ring or not?
I mean, if nobody else wants it, I'll wear it. It looks nice.
If you want it, I'll take it, darling. And I'll take it off.
Okay.
See what
You
happens.
have the ring.
Yeah.
It's a +1 ring to defense.
All right. I will give it over. I don't need it.
I would think everybody would be attacked over the cat. That's probably going to be in the corner, just looking like a cat, watching everybody punch everybody else, as cats do.
Cool. So you have desecrated the sarcophagus of the founding member of the town.
Yep.
Poked a bunch of bodies in here.
They were squishy.
Acquired a ring of +1 defense and a couple health potions, none of which belong to you. Now what?
Can we? Okay, let's see if we can investigate the tavern. Perhaps we can find out some information about the first body that died.
Cool.
Journal?
Sorry,
Did we
what?
ever did we have the mayor's journal? Did we ever figure out who he felt guilty about?
No, we left it there because
Well, that seemed important.
I did tell you all to look out for her. Have we seen any female yet?
have we seen any person? There should be a priest here.
I think he died.
You only found bodies down here, some of which are female, some of which
Okay.
unclear, some of which are male. Some of the town folk who met you with Gorin were female presenting. So, like, you know,
That was my thought. I couldn't
it's
remember. if
not just
anyone
a
in the
town
group-
full of dudes.
Well, what if it was like her and like all culty? I don't know. I'm gonna head back upstairs and like
I'm a
Okay.
follow.
be on guard.
I
Be
jump
very
back
on guard.
onto Sakura's shoulder, and
Cool.
I keep detect magic going until it ends. After
Like 10 minutes or something, right?
Yeah, it's 10 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. You don't detect any more magic as you're going up the stairs. And then like there's like a little there's like just like a little bit of a blip. Just a moment. Of something, and then it's like gone. So fast. Zaka, you're in front. Okay.
Mhm.
As you yes.
I just have a thought. This is just me thinking. Are we sure that cat was actually a cat? And not like a druid or someone polymorphed?
No.
We have no idea.
Nope, not a clue.
Okay.
Good
cat.
question. Wish we knew the answer. Is the cat still around? Now we're all obsessed with the cat. I hope you understand.
Okay, you're
Is the
looking for
cat
the cat
still
now.
around?
Has the cat been around? Have we heard the cat?
Would you like to go and look around for the cat? You're like halfway up the stairs.
Not like particularly, just like keeping an eye out to see if we spot this cat again.
If the
You
cat
don't
was a
see the
druid-
cat in the immediate vicinity.
If the cat was the druid, wouldn't they just be normal and open the door because then they would have thumbs?
Oh yeah. That's so but polymorph person is a possibility.
Oh, that's true. That's for an hour though, or so.
Okay. Let's go back up.
Okay. You do not see the cat immediately. You go back up. Zaka, you're in front. As you like reach, you come around the corner, going up. Staircase curves around, and you reach eye level with the floor. You see a body. On the floor out in the chapel. Probably about 12, 13 feet from the door to this closet that y'all are in.
So apparently going down to the basement is cursed and leads to people dying.
Are we sure they're dead?
I mage hand poke it.
Okay.
We have a theme.
The four of you are like frozen on the stairs, holding your breath, watching the mage hand floats forward, little spectral finger. Boop. The body does not move.
Okay, can I
boop it
go?
again.
Oh wait, I'm gonna go forward and flip it and see if it has the 2 stab wounds that we've been noticing on all the bodies.
Okay. So You duck around Zaka's legs. Are you going stealthily? Or
Yes, I'm going stealthily.
Okay. Roll me a stealth check.
You're also going to dice jail.
1. Okay. So you
Like trip
duck
and
around
fall.
Zaka's leg and bump against her axe, which makes like a dull, like clunk noise against the armor. You're like, whatever. I'm going for it anyway. And you Scooby-Doo style sneak out of the closet to the body. What are you looking for?
I'm looking to see if it has the stab wounds that we've noticed.
Oh, right.
on all
To
the
see if the
bodies.
stab wounds. It is lying face up. Would you like to turn it over?
I mean, are they not on the back?
Well, the body is lying face up on the floor.
Yeah, I'll gently roll the body over.
All right. You roll the body over. This one looks pretty fresh, not decomposing, no smell. There is a stab wound, a single stab wound in the back.
Because it is fresher,
Mm-hmm.
can I try and deduce what type of weapon did this?
Cool. Roll another medicine check.
I'm gonna get new dice from the dice bag because my dice have been failing me.
You better roll me a 20.
Don't ever say that. That's how you get ones.
Oh no, I've actually gotten people to roll me nat 20s.
That was a 2. So 4.
You're close. It's just missing a 0. You don't feel like you can gather any more information of this than what you've already ascertained.
Cool.
Mira's, as Jamie is looking at the body, Mira's looking around, trying to see where exactly she saw that little blip on her magic radar.
There's nothing. You don't sense anything again.
So there was a moment of magic, so this person might be able to teleport as well. That's a possibility. Given I just saw a little blip and that was it.
Can I go over, flip them back over, and see if it's somebody we've met thus far? Who's dead?
Sure. You approach the body, flip it over. It does not look like one of the people that you met earlier. You only met a handful of townspeople, though, so who knows who it is?
Does it look like the body is like dumped here, or is there like a little bit of blood splatter on the ground where someone might have been stabbed?
Yeah, you look around and strangely, other than the stains that you had seen before, there's no fresh blood or anything like that on the floor.
So it's almost like someone just delivered this body here.
And dropped it and walked off.
Yeah, or something. I mean, there's no like puddle of blood. Like it doesn't look like this body was murdered right here.
Okay.
Shall we go look for a murder scene?
We shall. We should also probably tell the people in the town that another one of their townspeople has been murdered.
Mira is gonna jump down and take a few sniffs of the body just to kind of get their scent,
Mm-hmm.
so that we can possibly find out where they might have been and go, yes, this is definitely them. They were killed here.
Hold on. Let me see something. Make a straight wisdom check for me.
That's a 16 plus 1. That is 17.
17.
Verify the dice on the cat.
Any cat luck.
The body smells a little bit funny to you. Like a little acidic. Like it's hard to describe it. Like it just smells a little off to you.
If you guys have ever seen a cat smell something weird, they usually go back, their ears are back, and their like eyes are huge, and it's like, oh, that does not smell right. And she kind of bats at her own nose, kind of freaking out a little bit.
It's not like real strong. It's kind of faint. It just you have sniffed lots of bodies, also poked plenty of them with your little paws. It just smells like something's a little wrong with it.
I poke it again.
Nothing happens.
I do the cat bat.
Nothing happens.
I'm gonna be a little bit gross just for a second. I'm gonna go ahead. Has it just been like flip flopped over a half dozen
Yeah.
times?
Like
Yeah.
a body pancake.
Which
Oh.
side is it on?
It is currently face up since.
I'm gonna flip it back again.
Yep.
Stick my finger in the wound
Okay.
and go. Does it smell like acid or poison or anything?
Ah.
Lick it
not
real
serious.
quick.
Okay. Nothing like you stick your finger in and like it's not like
Move it around a
goopy or
little
whatever. Nothing
bit.
really like comes off on your finger. When you snip it, roll an intelligence check to see if you can identify substance or whatever you're looking for.
23
23.
on a nat 20.
Ooh.
Okay, nat 20. It smells kind of like formaldehyde.
Okay, there's no blood on my finger.
No.
Yeah, no, y'all. Somebody's been keeping these and treating them. This ain't. I mean, it's fresh. Kind of flop it around a little bit. It ain't stiff or nothing, but this smells like a lab. This smells like freshman biology. Like the first day you gotta dissect something. This ain't right. We looking for somebody's pulling something. This ain't. I mean, it might be a monster, but I got a feeling it's much more folk up to something because this ain't blood no more. This is I'm not sure for embalming fluid. Somebody pickled this man.
God, that's
On that note, Mira's going to go to the hand, take one of her claws, and just kind of scratch it to see if any kind of ooze, like blood, usually would come out if it's still fresh.
Nothing
And
comes out.
I hate this.
And bat the hand a few hundred times.
You successfully batter the hand.
Okay.
Yeah, no, somebody done pickled this man.
So we're looking for a morgue or a pickler?
I think we're looking for perhaps a serial killer who oh god.
Oh, there's no blood in here, so
Well,
maybe a weird vampire or dampier or something.
Darlings, darlings. If you remember, in the mayor's home, there's a lot of animals, taxidermied animals. Could somebody doing that be able to do this?
Presumably.
I don't see
I
why
mean-
not. I mean, a body's a body, right?
I mean, mortals do have squishy bodies, so if it works for one type of mortal, it works for another type of mortal.
I mean, some are squishier than others. Come on, let's go poke around some more.
And once again, onto the barbarian's shoulder. I don't walk.
Great. So y'all are leaving the church?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
we may keep our eye out for someone like a Gorin to be like, hey, another person is dead and they're in the church.
Cool. As y'all are leaving, so you rolled nat 20s earlier. You hear a very faint, Juniper and Jamie, very faint noise, like piece of cloth like caught on like something, like just like this like faint rustling sound behind you.
I immediately turn around and look.
Okay. The body that you are inspecting is lying on the ground in the middle of the aisles behind you.
The body is following us?
It's just lying there.
So seeing this, basically claw into the shoulder, gets up. You see her back arch, her mouth
Mhm.
open, a little spark happens, and she casts. Let's see, which one do I want to do? Firebolt
Okay.
at the body.
It is prone. You have advantage.
Okay, rub the cat for good luck. Let's see, that's a 15 plus 6.
It hits.
21?
Yep.
While that's happening, can I do another perception check looking for hidden creatures?
Mm-hmm.
So that is 11 fire damage.
Okay.
As you just see this bolt of fire shoot from Mira's mouth.
Okay. It is on fire. The clothes are burning.
Oh god, math. 25.
Okay. You look around, like high alert everywhere. You do not see any hidden creatures. One thing that you do notice is that that side door that led out to the graveyard, there is like a little bit of snow on the stone floor inside the door, and you are not sure whether or not it was there before. Like maybe it blew under the
fresh?
door. Yeah, it's unmelted. So
Okay, I'm gonna point party towards that door. You may be dealing with a grave robber. Let's go.
okay, gonna leave the body burning there and go to the door. Is that the plan? Like what is everyone doing? So
Can we put out the fire on the body? Not
Yeah, we
desecrate the dead that much.
But if it's not on fire, it can move.
Don't know that.
Well,
We think
why don't we just leave it for a minute? We'll go outside, and if it tries following us, then it can stay the hell on fire. I'm sorry. I gotta watch my language, y'all. This is just working me up a little bit.
Mira's going to keep an eye out and be prepared to shoot another blast
okay.
if she sees any movement from it.
Are
Okay.
there any like footsteps or anything in the snow or
Mm-hmm.
You're inside the church right now. So
right? No. I mean the snow that blew.
oh, it's not a
on the
lot.
door.
It's like a very faint dusting, like a small amount. And like right now, y'all are near the front of the church, so this is back like where you came out of the closet almost. Like it's a ways. As you approach, Mira is keeping a close eye on the body, not moving, faintly crackling. You look in the snow and like it's a small amount. There is no footsteps in it, but also it would have been really easy to like open the door and not leave footsteps in it, given how little it is. Cool. There are windows along that wall looking out into the graveyard if you would like to presumably check them before you open the door or something.
Can I just look?
Yep.
Look over?
Make a perception check. Whoever's looking out the windows.
I will look out the windows.
18.
18, 21,
16.
and 16. All right. Couple things. There are a number of fresh graves. You know, the snow is pulled back and there's dirt. There's a lot of footprints out there. It looks like people have been out there though, like 13 bodies. You know, there wasn't 13 bodies in the basement. There was only like 4. So okay, burials. You can see that a couple of the graves are open, and there are a few limbs sticking out of some of the graves. As though something has reopened the graves, because presumably people were not left in that state.
Are the limbs moving?
Nothing is moving, just gently snowing.
Would detect magic still be up at this point?
No, but you didn't detect anything from the graveyard earlier. What's the range on detect magic?
I think it's 30 feet. Find it first. 30 feet in front of me.
In front of you. Presumably, you would have been looking all around, little bobblehead. But earlier, when you were coming up the stairs, you were like pretty close to that wall, and you didn't detect anything coming from the graveyard.
Okay.
Do we want to go into the graveyard?
Who knows? There might be somebody out there.
I mean, no, but if we're gonna get paid, then I don't think we got much of a choice, honestly.
Hold your breath. And I'm going to open the door.
Okay, what is the marching order? How are you going out there?
I'm on Sakura, like you.
Okay.
I said I was opening the door, so I guess I'm first.
Yep.
And I will be in the end.
Okay. So are you going quickly or stealthily? Like, what's the plan?
Can we do both?
I mean, are you just like
You
charge,
said
surprise,
stealthy.
or like stealth?
Stealth.
Okay. Stealthy stabbing. Okay.
Stealthy stabbing.
Cool. So everyone make a stealth check.
Please note that I have disadvantage.
16 again.
16.
That's a 4.
That's a nat 1.
All right.
With the 6?
Yep, y'all are not very stealthy, except
We were
for
meant to be loud
The
and murder.
blue and pink cotton candy tiefling is the
Right.
stealthiest.
Yep.
Good.
I'm sitting on the barbarian.
You
so
just kind of like hang back as they stumble through the doorway, like, ugh, way to beat, and slip out behind, like,
I overshoot how high I need to like reach up to grab the door handle, and I kind of like fall.
Yep. Rough one. Y'all tumble out of the side door into the graveyard. But nothing seems to react to your presence. As that is happening, Liz, what is your AC?
1, so it's 14.
14. Okay.
Oh no.
That is a
That's not a face you want to see the DM make.
15. Okay, so you are hit. And that
Not
is
surprised. It ain't hard.
a 11. And the second one misses. Okay, you take 11 points of piercing damage. Something behind you. You feel this sharp pain in your back.
Do we see this?
Or just cussing
Well,
in
she's in the back.
I
Oh.
start cussing in Infernal. Y'all would probably hear that. And then I turn around and as a reaction use Hellish Rebuke.
Okay. You whip around. And there's nothing in front of you. And then you look down, and the body that was previously on fire is now lying there, not on fire, just on the ground.
Does the Hellish Rebuke do anything?
I mean,
Hold on. It's got to. I don't know if I see something, because that is probably what it is. I'm saying I'm casting this at first level, but I'm not. And it's not a 20. Hold on, let me look it up because it's just being stupid now.
Hold on.
Darling,
I mean,
something
it's a
like
body lying down on the ground, so it hits.
It's
Just-
about whether or not it hits the invisible creature.
Is it an invisible creature or somebody playing with their toys?
I think we got a marionette, y'all. Somebody is puppeting this thing around, would be my guess. Do we see a weapon on it at all? Whatever the hell just
No.
stabbed me?
Nope.
Based on what I'm seeing on this, it wouldn't require you to have seen the thing that attacked you, so theoretically the thing that attacked you should still be on fire.
Hellish Rebuke doesn't set things on fire, right?
It takes 2d10 fire damage.
Okay, yeah, roll your damage.
And then they make a dex save.
Where the heck is my numbers? There it is. Oh, really? That's it?
Okay.
Oh, that's not bad. 12.
And what is the dex save?
15.
15. All right. It does not
15
make
is
a
my
save.
DC, yeah.
Cool. It takes whatever it is, takes 12 damage. You know, that's just the body.
Could I use
Is the
fire?
body still in body shape? Like, this thing has
Yep.
taken a decent amount of damage, of fire damage.
Yeah, that's
Does it
kind
look-
of the funny thing about it is it looks like before you set it on fire.
Oh, I hate that.
It's not on fire, and it doesn't look like it has been set on fire.
I hate that.
Kitty, you look like you have an idea.
I'm gonna be an asshole, but I'll ask first. My dears, should I actually use one of my most powerful spells? As in, send a giant explosion of fire to possibly hit either the body and whatever might be within?
Property damage again is not in our favor. This town doesn't like us already. I don't want to be banned from another town.
I mean, it's not like we're going to come back here. This is the butt end of nowhere. But I was just going to say, why not take its head off and bring it with us?
I would love to.
We can
Okay.
always just slap the head back on it.
I'm gonna do more than that. I'm gonna start slashing at this thing.
Okay.
I'm gonna take the head off
Got
and
it.
like make sure everybody gets the head, but then everything else is getting chopped up.
Okay.
And fireballs will be happening.
You successfully remove its head from the body. Okay, and then what are you? Firebolts are happening after the head is removed.
I'm thinking slash firebolt, basically in concession with the blade cuts.
Okay.
So, like I take off an arm, the arm gets burned. Arm like
Okay, so you're
Yeah.
dismembering it and then burning it.
Oh my god!
I don't know what y'all expected when you invited me into
Okay.
this.
So dark!
Great, got it. Cool. You finish chopping off all the limbs and burning them.
They can't be put back together.
There's a lot of ash To reduce it to pure ash would take quite a while, as it is a body. But firebolt is like severely charring it. Like, are you trying to reduce it to a small pot of fine ashes, or just burn it beyond all recognition?
Burn the body basically where it won't be able to move anymore.
Cool, great. I mean, it is dismembered, very charred up.
Bring this part with me, and I like grab a charred arm and just like.
Great. Okay. You
That's the head.
complete that. Now, what would you like to do?
Well, we were going out into the graveyard, so let's go.
And Mira's going to be back on to. Oh no, I didn't get off of her shoulder. She's going to be sitting backwards, so she's going to be looking behind us.
Okay. You're going to be looking behind us. Good to know. Okay. You head into the graveyard. What are you looking for?
Paying real close attention to this if this arm that I'm carrying starts twitching.
Okay. Make a perception check. Six.
I don't notice anything.
Like, every time you take a step, you feel like it jolts a little, and you're like, am I being paranoid? Is it twitching? Is that just me moving? So
Sounds about right, yeah.
Given this arm, this burnt arm over your shoulder, the side eye, this whole time, a little jumpy. Yep.
Can we go near the open graves with limbs
Sure.
sticking out of them?
Mm-hmm. As you go around to the different graves, you see various bodies in different states of decomposition. It's pretty cold out here. The basement is a little more insulated. These bodies, being out in the winter storms, seem a little more preserved, not decomposing as quickly. None of them seem to be moving. Since you're investigating the bodies, make a perception check for me.
Why do my dice hate me? 14.
14. Okay. As you're going around to these different graves, there's like 7 open graves. You notice 2 things. One is one of the graves is empty. Another is that some of the bodies seem to be missing chunks. Like something has been chewing on them.
So I think we're...
Mira is just looking behind us and keeping an eye out.
Okay.
You can roll a perception check for your rear watch.
That would be, let's see, what do I get for perception again? 12.
Okay. Don't see anything. Yeah, so what were you going to say, Jamie?
Well, either someone is really hungry, or we're dealing with some kind of beast. But frankly, I don't know at the moment, and this is getting a little odd, even for us.
I mean, does it look like people-sized chew marks or like a bear? I mean, a
GM?
bear that'd probably be missing like an arm, but you know what I mean.
GM?
You can make like a nature or medicine check to try to figure out like what the bite marks are.
I will be taking medicine because it is somewhat better than my nature. I am going to use I remember that I have this feat. Because I am a halfling. And I rolled a 1. And I am lucky. And I'm going to reroll this dice because my dice hate me.
Okay.
Still not as good, but that's a 9.
Okay. 9 medicine, and what about you, Liz?
Oh, am I rolling something? Hold on 1 second.
Oh, well, nature or medicine. You
I'm
wanted to know.
gonna. I don't think that is any different. Oh, hey, I got a 3 in nature since when? It's a 10.
10. Okay. So, Liz, Juniper has seen some stuff in her time as a bard, some good old bar fights, and seen a number of human bite marks. You are confident these are not human bite marks. Looks a little bit sharper, a little bit larger. You're not a ranger. You haven't seen very many bear victims up close or something like that, but you're pretty sure this is like probably some kind of like animal or monster or something else, not human.
I am so confused.
I'm gonna.
This is me, Tuck, saying this. I am confusion.
I'm gonna just walk away. Not like away. Just like 10 feet away. Because I already been stabbed once, so I mean, why not?
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute. Look around. And kind of look at everybody over my shoulder to kind of track where everybody else is at.
Mm-hmm. Jamie, you, with your high passive perception, hear something from the church. It's like a faint sound again.
Again, kind of a rustling.
Like a little bit of like a faint scraping noise on the stone.
Hold on. Can we say in my disguise kit, there's like a small hand mirror, which would be useful in something like a disguise?
Yeah.
I'm going to, not turning around,
Mm-hmm.
kind of basilisk this and see if I can hold up the mirror and see if I can see anything in the reflection of the mirror.
Yeah. Well, just so you're aware, your lovely cat Mira has been watching backwards over your shoulder this whole time.
Yeah.
So, okay, yeah. So that is something.
But like, I'm trying to like look further like into the church and like see if I can see something.
Yeah. So you've been wandering around the graveyard, so you'll have to like step back to line up with the doorway.
Yeah.
You look into the mirror. Mira and you see this at the same time. The body that you just hacked to pieces and burned up is lying near the door, just like it was.
Oh, I hate that. Does it look, because it was ash and because like it was like the outside was charcoal. It's not fully ash, but can I see like a trail of ash moving, or does it look almost like
No,
a
it
resetting
looks
of
like the
stage?
first time you saw it. It looks like nothing ever happened to it.
We took the head, didn't we?
Yeah.
We took the
Do we
an
have two
arm.
heads?
Is there two heads now?
You still have an arm and a head.
Dears, we
All right.
need to find this puppeteer.
Can one of, okay, I'm gonna say any of us, but can I or anybody else do like a we are part of a damn agency that fights these things check, like
Yeah.
history or
I have a
any
history.
of you can make
monsterology
like
or
a history, a arcana check, or like if you have an argument for something else based on your character that you want to like suggest, like let me hear it.
Can I make an
I'll do ours.
investigation check and like be like kind of pulling from what we've seen, pulling
Yeah.
from all the stuff?
You can try to see if you can piece together the clues. It's a good investigation check.
We
Okay.
should have had a nat 1 counter for this game.
We should have.
Oh, we really should have.
We've done a lot of those.
I'm
All
gonna
right,
be
I
doing
guess I
Arcana.
will do. I'll do
That's
history.
That is a natural 20 for 23. For
Okay,
Arcana.
Arcana.
21 on a history
21
check.
on history.
That's a 19 investigation check.
19 investigation. Zach, are you clueless? Is not one? Oh.
Oh.
I have a plus
Dear
5.
heart. Okay. So, wow, good rolls coming through for you when you need it though. So, Amira and a Juniper. Juniper, you think of a story of a town in the Icewind Dale, where the entire town was found murdered, just bodies everywhere. And there was like a number of people who went to investigate this, to like look for what happened at various times. And everyone who went to investigate pretty much kept dying as well. A few people managed to escape. And kind of interestingly, like nobody ever figured out what it was that killed people. Everyone who escaped said they didn't see what attacked. They were attacked from behind. Their friends were attacked from behind. You're like, it's kind of similar, and we are kind of far north. And you recall that there was a group of like priests and adventurers and stuff that went up there. They did not find any undead. They just to be sure burned all the bodies. But one of the bodies kept coming back, and no matter like what they tried, they could not kill it. So they ended up entombing it because they didn't know what else to do with it, and they felt deeply uncomfortable just leaving it out and about, not sure what it was. Mira, you are thinking and thinking and thinking, and that little blip that you felt in your detect magic, you felt like you're like, that was conjuration. And this body that just sort of magically keeps like reappearing and regenerating, but it's not regenerating because you have a head, but there's like a new head on this body. Like maybe this body is being conjured from somewhere. Because, but like maybe it's from a, well, you're not really like sure exactly like where it's from or whatever, but like maybe a body is being created, like, or coming from somewhere. And you then, Jamie, hearing this and thinking about it, you're like, okay, well, maybe the body, you've been thinking about puppets, maybe the body isn't doing it. Maybe the body is just what we can see when we look at it, but something keeps conjuring new bodies, so attacking the bodies isn't like helping us. whatever it is not the body, but is creating the body.
So, fireball anybody? I can do that.
I don't know if that person is here.
Yeah, that's the only thing I want to save that till I know it's actually going to hit something useful, you know?
True.
Um, huh. I mean, most puppets can't be worked from too far away. So, mayhaps we just let the creepy body work its way this way a little bit.
Sounds good.
I don't know. Actually, I don't know if it's responding to you, my dear Myra. So you may actually be able to watch it if the three of us turn our backs and are very engaged in this here little body, um, being a cat and all. It may not recognize that you're noticing it, and maybe you'll give us enough time to, dodge.
Okay, if we do that, I will. If I see anything, I will be hitting it with magic. And hopefully we can see exactly what it is and be able to attack. But I think that is indeed the best course of action right now.
All right, well, let's go ahead and look at this. And I just kind of like turn the other two and I'm like pointing very, very infomercial, like pointing stuff
You're
out
like,
on
check
screen.
the body. Yeah. Okay.
And right
So,
head over there we have a arm. Yes.
but Myra, you're looking
Yeah,
at the
I'm
body
watching.
and the. Okay. For next 20 or 30 minutes, you do this. Myra, nothing happens. The body does not move at all.
I think Myra needs to turn around.
I just
Oh,
close
shit.
my eyes
Oh, shit, I'm
and
sorry, y'all.
start to clean. Act like I'm totally not watching anything. Like the whole cat thing where you're like, oh, they're not paying attention. And next minute, they're just, they're paying attention. They've seen everything that you were doing.
Okay. But you're trying to look.
Yeah, just like kind of glancing, look away, glancing, kind of like Doctor Who and the
Okay.
angels.
Make a stealth check
Okay.
since you're trying to be sneaky about it.
That is that's a dirty 20.
Okay.
Ooh.
So you feel like you're being very sneaky. You clean. You look under your leg for like a hot second, and you keep cleaning. You don't see any movement. But after like a minute or two, you're like, no, the hand is definitely in a different place than it was. But you did not see it move. But now you're like, I think the hand is moved. It wasn't there, and now it's over there. Like it's just like open now instead of closed. But you haven't seen any movement.
Question.
Yes.
Can I think back to when I failed and then succeeded on opening that tomb? Did it look like it hadn't been touched in a very long time?
Yeah.
Okay.
It looked very old. Dusty. Very dusty.
Well, I don't believe this is actually working as we hoped. It's only moving very, very tiny bit of movement. She jumps off and then kind of goes through the tombstones and jumps up on one. I think we should wait and see what
You
happens.
look back over because you looked away while you were jumping over the tombstones. The body is now outside the door. It's lying in the snow, just like a couple feet outside the door.
Well, it's now outside. Let's move back a little farther into the graveyard. And hopefully, once we get a little bit farther, I will launch the fireball because, as you guys remember, it's pretty big blast radius, and hopefully we can catch them within it and possibly see something.
So what are you trying to do? You're trying to back up and then you're gonna fireball. What are you trying to fireball? Yes.
Can I, while our backs are turned, be listening extremely closely for the sound of anything moving?
Okay. So y'all are going across the graveyard and you're listening.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone looking at the body as you go?
No.
I'm looking away and then I do a quick glances every few seconds.
Okay. Do a few glances every few seconds and you're listening. Make a perception check.
Want to give you that sweet, sweet guidance?
I bap your foot.
Sorry, no, for the list. Okay, so you're
Oh,
looking.
listening?
You roll for listening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you got guidance. So perception for seeing something, I got a 15.
Not that great. That's also a 15.
You hear snow crunching, but like y'all are crunching snow. You can't tell if something is following you or not, or if it's just you crunching through the snow.
I think we gotta wait for one of us to get stabbed and then reach behind us.
So it is getting dark out now. Myra, you keep looking back. You feel like maybe the body has moved, but you're not sure. It looks pretty close to where it was.
Myra's going to now kind of stealth into the graveyard
Mm-hmm.
and kind of put herself where she's like, they've passed me. So here's like a tombstone. She's going to probably hide behind it to see if anything passes by.
Okay.
And for stealth, that is 18 plus 6. So that is 24.
24. Okay. Are you looking at the body or are you looking at the space on the way to your friends to see if something comes?
So like here's the gravestone, here's the body. Mira's going to be right there.
Okay.
Just waiting until like
Something passes your line of sight.
and then I'm
Okay.
gonna shoot.
Okay.
If I see anything other than the body.
Okay. So everyone else is looking away from the body. That's the plan. Okay. So you all line up along the wall on the edge of the graveyard. It's very quiet. Now that everyone is still, your passive perception, Jamie, you hear something moving. Very faint crunching of snow from the direction of the body. And you hear it too then, Mira, as it gets closer to where you're at. And then it's really weird. There's like this flicker, but like not even a flicker. It's like you blink for 1 second and then the body is lying on the ground about 8 feet from you, just lying
The
there.
moment it does, she launches the firebolt.
Okay.
fireball, where
Great.
it won't hit her, but it will hit everything in that area within a
Great.
20-foot radius. So that would be 8d4, and the save is 14.
Okay. You hit it. It's a body.
Do we hit anything else? So
So that is
confused.
10, 20, 33 points of fire damage.
Okay. The body is burnt to a crisp. Completely charred.
Once it detonates,
Uh-huh.
Mira's going to be looking for any kind of like shape that might have appeared or disappeared
Okay.
during the blast.
Roll a perception check.
Can I also perceive?
Yep.
Ooh, that's really nice.
Presumably
that
everyone
would-
turns around when you hear the blast.
Let's see, that would be a 22.
Yep. None of you see anything.
Oh my god, I'm so confused.
Who has the highest intelligence of this group?
Not me. You're muted.
We can't hear you, Liz.
Nope.
There you
I said I have a feeling we might have to just close our eyes and start swinging, and hope that it gets a little. It's feeling a little froggy, and decides to try and do the same.
Yeah. Juniper, you gather from what's been happening that whatever it is, you can't see it. Not like you just can't see it, but like if you see it, it's not there. Like the body doesn't seem to be the thing. The body seems to be like a decoy. That if you're looking at it, you can only it's the body, and if you're not looking at it, maybe it's something else.
Mira sits on the body.
Okay. It is still on fire. um,
I stop.
okay. You go to sit on the body, and then you're like, oh, I might singe my whiskers. Never mind.
Then I'm gonna jump up, sit on the tombstone that I was hiding behind, and just cat loaf.
Okay. Great.
Can I do a history or intelligence check to see if we've ever, like, I know we did like our history, but if
Mhm.
like royal family stuff learning, if I've ever heard of type of creature that I've never interacted with from work, kind of thing,
Okay.
that would be
Come
something
on,
that could
fancy
like
tutors.
change up its appearance, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was also
Okay.
thinking possibly when Mira was a celestial, if she remembers talking to any of the other celestials about weird creatures that kind of fit around this kind of creature that we're dealing with, or any stories or rumors.
You want me to do history or intelligence?
Whichever one you want.
Well, history is a +5, so I want to do that.
Okay. 19. You haven't heard of anything.
What would Mira do then for hers?
Well, religion, because it's celestial based.
That's nice. That's a dirty 20.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't
You
mean to roll
haven't
that.
heard of anything either. The only thing that you can think of is this Icewind Dale town. Just an endless parade of bodies, and one body that just could not be gotten rid of, that they just locked away.
Okay. I vote we stick this body in a coffin.
Sokka will pick it up and go put it with our lovely little elven lady if you'd like.
I mean, it's just gonna make a new body. It already did it once.
Yeah, this is true. Oh, I don't like this.
But did the other one get out? We don't know that it did, unless this is it.
It could be.
I mean, it's not like we're horrifically far. And if something's been chewing on this, hey, guess what? It probably ate all the bodies over there and then came over here and it's like, woohoo, buffet. And it's just going through, picking out light meat or dark meat. And then we're here just interrupting its feast. So it's going to stab us in the back a little bit too. Stuffing it in the coffin just mean it's going to be frustrated and have to make somebody new appear. I bet that's probably what happened. Somebody new was found with fisherman, Gorton's fisherman, and that's who we've been tracking this whole time. Look how smart I am, y'all.
Oh my god.
Mira actually looks back at behind where the body would have moved,
Mhm.
and since she knows whose footprints are whose, since she was
Mhm.
looking behind us, she tries to see if there's any other footprints.
There is a fifth set of footprints. It looks like, well, they're kind of strange. They're not paw prints. Like elephant footprints. They're just like these large cylindrical shapes in the ground. It looks like it's bipedal. There's two of them. I don't know if you know what elephants are in Faerun land, but yeah. They're not like typical little paws with the like pads and the toe bits.
No, that is not going to work. And Mira jumps down, goes over to the footprints, goes, because it looks like we would have to get whatever made these and kill it. Doing the body will do nothing. It'll just make a new one, by the way.
Yeah, like I said, y'all, I have a feeling we just gonna have to close our eyes and start swinging and hope we don't hit each other, honestly.
True.
Well, I'm game.
happy. I'm happy to do it, dear. But y'all, I have a very large swing, so please stand back.
Let's try.
And I will.
Oh, go ahead.
Are we all just gonna backs to the the four of us just sitting chilling on this small stone partition? Like, yes, waiting for the bus.
So you're gonna
Literally.
wait until it stabs you, and then what's the plan?
And then I think we're all holding like
Wait, we don't have to have our backs to it. We just can't see it. Isn't that the thing? So can't
That's
we
what
turn
you
around?
hypothesize.
We can turn around with our eyes closed so we're facing it and just be swinging.
this is true. Let's do that plan.
That seems less dangerous than stabbing ourselves in the back. I mean, this is a terrible idea, but let's go with it.
So
Do we want
back
to have
the
one of
wall?
us looking at the ground rather than having our eyes closed to see if this is like
Well, it keeps stabbing folks in the back. That's the only reason I'm saying with our backs turned, because I got a feeling if it was in the church while we were, it could have stabbed any of us at, pretty much any time. So it's making sure it comes from the back so that it can't be seen.
but if we're facing forward with our eyes closed.
Yeah.
See what happens. It'll be
Okay.
a great time.
Let's
So-
try.
I mean, it's an experiment, so let's do it. She gets back onto the barbarian's shoulder.
Okay. And what are you trying first?
Facing forward, eyes closed.
Okay. Are you all just gonna stand in a line?
Let's like spread out enough so like if Zaka swings, we're not gonna get hurt. But
If you're next to me, you're fine. It's just don't be in front of me because I'm going to swing this way.
kind of making like a V.
Okay. Flying V. Far enough away from Zaka.
I'll have my
Okay.
rapier out.
I'll
Okay,
have my,
our-
I'll have my,
In
I'll
your
have my
body, the
my.
fireball is like dying down now.
Mhm.
Body is just cackling. Are you standing farther back? What?
With enough room to fight.
Yeah, Mira is going to summon a spiritual weapon, and
Okay.
strangely enough, it's this massive greatsword.
Awesome.
that shimmers with golden energy.
Okay.
And it's prepared to slice behind
I'm going to go ahead.
Noah's.
Once everybody seems to be in position, I will cast Fairy Fire in front of us.
Ooh.
Okay. So you're gonna cast it in front of you. And before the fight starts? Or
You know
is
what?
that
No,
just what you're holding? You're holding fairy fire.
I'm holding my rapier and I will hold Fairy Fire.
Okay. And what is gonna trigger that? You hear a sound, everyone starts swinging.
I mean, if I get stabbed,
Okay, then fairy fire. If you feel the stab wound, fairy fire.
Yeah.
Okay, and then what about you? You're just holding your axe. Great, got it.
Also, I have a thing, so if I
Yeah.
hit it, I have a reaction thing I'm gonna do.
Cool. Okay, so
Dagger.
everyone lines up. You're ready. 3, 2, 1. You all close your eyes.
Yep.
Okay. Well, conveniently there are 4 of you, so.
Oh god.
All right, that is a 1. So on my screen, that is you, Liz. Great. You get stabbed again. That is a 16 to hit. That
That'll hit.
hits. So that is. Oh, that is 4 piercing damage.
Hey, I can survive 4.
Yeah, so you feel something stab, it hits your side. It's not like very deep, but you feel it. You let go of fairy fire and
Yeah.
you make the noise.
Yeah. Ow!
Okay, so everyone roll your attacks with disadvantage. And what
Well,
are you?
with Fairy Fire, they get advantage.
But their eyes are closed, so fairy fire
So
is not helping.
should it balance or does it
Should
not
it be a
count?
straight roll?
Because with Fairy
Well-
Fire, you would get advantage.
Yeah, but
Everyone
like
can
it
see
makes it makes invisible things visible. It makes things that you can see more visible. But if your eyes are closed, you can't see the fairy fire either.
Not even like through your eyelids. That's right. It's worth a
fine.
shot.
Eh.
It's worth a shot.
It's worth the shot, but I don't know that it would help.
And
Oh, that's
That
Does
two
that
20s
use-
on your great axe?
Yes, it is 220.
Nice
You rolled
job.
Yay!
2 nat 20s?
That's
No, they're not.
They're not
20s.
natural.
14.
Okay, but
I'm dirty
still.
20.
And does casting Fairy Fire use my reaction?
Is it a reaction spell?
No, it would me holding my action.
Oh
but
yeah.
could I
So
take a reaction
now you'll have an
from being
opportunity
stabbed?
to go again, but let everyone else do their thing real
Right.
quick. So
I
you
have a
hit how much
question.
damage? Yes.
I have 2 attacks per turn. Do I do 2 or am I only doing 1 right now? Because it's just like a
It's
reaction.
a reaction round.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, so sad.
Okay.
If I hit it though, I'm doing something else.
Okay. You feel it connect with something.
18.
Then if I hit a creature with a melee, I
18
can
hits.
use a superiority dice to grapple it.
Okay.
Let me look at what you have to do for it.
So 18 hits. Roll your damage. How much damage? We can't hear you.
Oh, I was just doing math. That would be
Okay.
11 radiant damage from the spiritual weapon.
Nice.
I am assuming a 10 does not hit.
It does not hit. It misses. Okay, so you're trying to grapple.
I also
Strength
have to
13.
add a d8. So I add another
Contested,
3
so
to
it's
it.
another. It's a strength. Is it contested?
I believe so.
Okay.
Just like a regular grapple, so it's a 16 for me.
18. It's very strong.
Ah.
You feel this large. It's very cold when you touch it. And kind of like smooth stone, like marble or something. This large form in your arms for a moment, and then it just pushes outwards, and your arms fly back. All right, so y'all have done a good chunk of damage to it. Are you going to open your eyes or keep swinging.
I think keeping them closed. Liz, you have a different opinion?
Say,
You're muted again. Oh,
motherfucker.
No, you're good. You're good.
You're
good,
back.
good.
Oh,
Just
see,
quiet.
now I feel bad. No, I was just gonna ask. The reason I was asking if me casting Fairy Fire for my held action used my reaction is because I wanted to do Hellish Rebuke after I got stabbed. Also.
oh yeah. Okay.
Ooh.
Go ahead and do your hellish rebuke.
And
And if everyone else is gonna keep blindly swinging, swing again.
So dexterity saving throw for your creepy weeping angel.
That's an 18.
We're still doing disadvantage, right?
So
Yeah,
it's
disadvantage.
half damage on 3d10.
Damage on 3d10. Wow.
Nice.
Okay.
I need-
Zaka, you hit. Also, does a 14 hit you, Zaka?
No.
Okay.
No.
You feel something
You know I'm
sharp
gonna do it
swing
again.
at you. Yep.
So 11 points of damage for my Hellish Rebuke.
Wow. Nice job.
I do 13
Mira-
damage.
Wow. Yes.
And I'm gonna try to hug it again.
I'm assuming an 11 does not hit.
It does not hit.
And I'm actually going to go ahead and try and hit with my rapier.
Great. And how much do you do, Mira?
Mira's actually going to open her eyes to see if Fairy Fire worked.
Oh, I got fucking disadvantage.
Okay.
Never mind.
You open your eyes, and there's that flicker again, and then you just see a body on the ground, and fairy fire is gone.
Is the creature gone?
You don't. Well, the rest of your eyes closed. Mary, you see nothing. Just the body lying on the ground, same as it was before.
She closes her eyes again and to the group. Did anybody hit it or feel what it looked like? Or felt what it felt like? Any
That's what it looked like.
I'll tell all the descriptors while I try to strength check.
23 for a strength check.
Mm-hmm.
That's a 9. So
I snuggle it. It's snuggled.
So you now prepared, wrap your arms around it. But as Mira opens her eyes to look, whatever you're holding on to just sort of evaporates in your arm, and you're just there's nothing there.
It's a cold, like icy thing. I don't know, but it's gone now.
I think we gotta fight with our eyes fully closed. No
Alright.
peeking.
Let's go ahead. Did I manage to hit it with a 15?
Yes, you did.
Oh, cool.
Mira
So,
looks around to see if there's any thing that fits that description, like a weird tombstone block of ice that's suddenly there or something that shouldn't be there.
You don't see anything.
I am going to go ahead and do my very sneaky College of Whispers extra damage.
Yep.
Ooh.
Using my Psychic Blade, I will do. So it was 10 points of piercing damage and then an additional 3d6 of psychic damage. I don't know if it's actually going to hurt it because it's a creepy thing, but another 12. So
Well,
total of 22.
okay. So,
I have to look, don't I?
everyone was kind of going at once. So, was that a bonus action to your last this like College Whispers thing? Was this part of your last round, like when everyone just went? Yes. Okay. So right before Mira looks, there's like this very high pitched like it's like a fine wine glass breaking, like a shattering sound, very high. It's not very loud. It's like kind of on the edge of your hearing, and then whatever you're holding on to just like evaporates as Mira opens her eyes.
Mira
Their
looks
eyes.
over.
Mira's the pronoun. Sorry, my bad.
Mira looks over to. Let's see. Who is the one that looks most hurt right now?
Listen,
No one else is taking damage.
Only Juniper has taken damage.
I look to June and go, "My dear, here's a little help," and she's going to cast Healing Word at 3rd level. Ooh, that's actually pretty nice. That would be 9. You get 12 points of healing back, and then she closes her eyes.
I am back up to. I'm down 2 points. We're good to go, gang.
Okay.
And then Mira closes her eyes. That's the only reason why she opened her eyes, because she was like, I need to heal somebody.
Okay.
Let's all close them.
Everyone's eyes close again.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. Nothing. You don't hear or feel anything. No one stabs you again, Juniper.
Red, why?
Do you open your eyes?
No.
Mira jumps down to where she remembers the body flopping
Mm-hmm.
and sits on it.
Okay, you feel it there. It's just body. It doesn't move.
Keeping my eyes closed. Do we want to turn our backs and then turn around but keep our eyes closed? Turn our backs, take a step, and then...
Do we kill it?
Was it making any noise that we think it was hurt?
We heard the shattering.
I mean, there was definitely that sound like the wine glass kind of sound.
It was icy.
Can we make...
Mira walks out without opening her eyes about 5 feet, sits down in the snow, and just waits.
Poke around a little bit with my rapier. Do I feel like new ice chunks?
You don't feel anything.
Well,
It's very quiet. You just hear everyone breathing.
I think we killed it.
90s montage walk away without looking.
don't
We
look
all
back.
go backwards into the church
We're just like
without saying a word.
trying to figure out without stabbing each other.
Okay. You gonna leave now? Gonna open your eyes? What's the...
Yeah, I'll go ahead and open my eyes.
I'll open
Okay.
them.
Just the body. Same as the time you first saw it lying on the ground.
No debris or anything.
Nope, just a little bit of Juniper's blood.
I hate this.
I am going to once again dismember this body.
I don't think
see.
dismembering the
This
body
poor
does
priest.
anything.
It'll tell us if it's still there because it'll redo if it's still
Maybe
about.
just take off a hand. Maybe just
Or
a
a
hand.
finger.
In
Just a
case in
Just
case
a
it's their
hand.
priest or something. They already don't like us and I want to get paid.
Fine,
Mira
but I
just stabs it with
really
the rest
chop
of
up that
her-
hand.
Mira just stabs it with her greatsword that was
Okay.
floating before it poofs.
Great. So you partially dismember the body. And we are over time. You think you may have killed whatever it was, but the troublesome thing about whatever it was is
There's no
all
way
you
to
can
prove
see
it.
is this body, which is not what it really was.
Can we put the body in one of the coffins downstairs and nail it shut?
Sure.
I vote for that.
can go bring it down while keeping eyes out for the evil kitty.
Evil kitty, that orange cat.
Literally
Okay.
could be an innocent cat, and I'm like, nope, gotta go. I'll put it in with our elven lady, because, like, why not? We've already desecrated the founder's grave. Put it in.
Let's not put it with the founders. Let's not put it in with the founders. Let's
Gonna get
Let's-
out of these ones.
no. Let's put it in one of the wooden ones, and let's not desecrate any more graves, and just find a wooden coffin and nail it shut.
Jamie, darling, why don't you let me have happy things? And I go walk downstairs to the body.
I let you have happy things that don't desecrate bodies.
That's the happy things. I'll go throw it
Okay,
in.
so where do you put the body?
I'll listen and put it in the other ones, but one of the hand that I chopped up, I'm putting in with the founder.
Okay.
And I'll close them both.
The
Pretty
chaos
compromise.
crew was here. You know.
Yep, chaos crew.
Yep.
Told me no, I had to.
Okay. So you nail the body into a coffin. You put the hand into the sarcophagus and shut it. And you think you may have solved the case. You hope you solved the case for these poor people's sake. But you've done all of it that you can. So
Why don't we spend the night in the? Why don't we spend a night or two in the town and see if anyone else ends up dead?
well, we are 30 minutes over time.
Yeah,
So we'll never find out.
I think that's if we hit a milestone, that's a return of this one shot.
Yeah,
Did we
if we
actually kill
hit the
army?
milestone, if we hit $4,000 for the Trevor Project tonight, I will tweet to let everyone know whether or not they have actually saved the town,
Please,
or if
Or
they'll
killed
end up
everyone.
dead tomorrow.
Y'all, I need to
I'm like-
know. Make it
We
happen.
just really ticked this thing off, and it's going
Yup.
to kill all of us in our
Fighting
sleep.
its time,
And we're only
gathering
500.
army. Okay, so I think it is time for us to sign off so that the next game can get started and possibly be delayed further because we're 30 minutes over. Thank
Yep.
you for everyone's patience and graciousness. And if you're here watching, stick around for the final game of the evening, which is a Vampire the Masquerade one-shot from Dimples and Dice, who also have